Chapter 21. Dinner date. I am on cloud 9. So happy that I got a dinner date with her. It's my first time that I'm so damn happy. I was once when my mom, me and my sister used to go to amusement parks. My phone buzzes and it's her text. She sent me the list of all 5 and 7-star restaurants. Choose the restaurant EVERETT. I don't want any drama. Yes, love. Any restaurant of your choice will work after all dinners on you. Great then. I'll see you at 8 tonight. It works. I'm jumping on my bed with happiness. I quickly go and kiss Leo. It's 10 in the morning. I need to wait for 9 fucking hours. Damn, this 9 hours seems like 9 years. I quickly called my secretary and told him to buy me a royal blue blazer from the best designer. I quickly transfer him $40,000 and tell him to get his ass here soon. This is my first date. Oh, of course it isn't a date, but still it's so important to me, as it will be me and her. After I was done checking all files of her shares and attending a few meetings, I rushed to the Orchids. I need to get ready and soon go for dinner with her. After Aaron brought my blazer, I soon got dressed up and set my hair. I look at myself in the mirror for 5 minutes straight to find out if something is missing. Nothing is missing except her, the love of my life. My phone buzzes and it's a text from my love. I'll be a little late. I'll meet you at the restaurant. I am waiting for her and now she's doing this to me. Fine. I replied with a thumbs up emoji. I make the arrangements with the restaurant she told me we are going to and tell them what needs to be done. After half an hour of watching the news, I soon rushed towards the restaurant after her message popped on my screen. Be there in 15 EOM. On my way. I quickly take a look at myself to see if I'm looking good, and yes, I'm looking perfect. My blazer, my hair, and shoes. Everything is perfect. I checked my watch for the 3rd time at the last minute and tugged at the collar of my shirt, adjusting it nervously. The restaurant was intimate. The kind of place where the low lighting and soft jazz in the background were meant to foster romance. STELLA arrived precisely on time. Her entrance marked by the click of her heels on the polished floor. I stood up, my heart rate inexplicably increasing at the sight of her. She wore a simple yet elegant black dress that highlighted her figure, her hair cascading down her shoulders in soft waves. Hi, she said, not quite meeting my eyes. Hey, I replied, a bit too enthusiastically. You look great. Thanks, as she responded curtly, sliding into her seat. She picked up the menu and started scanning it immediately, as if it were the most interesting document she'd ever seen. I watched her for a moment, then cleared my throat. So, how was your day? Busy, STELLA replied without looking up. Yours? It was good. Finished up that report for the Watson project. I think it turned out well. I tried to sound casual, but the silence that followed was heavy. STELLA nodded, acknowledging my effort to start a conversation, but offering nothing further. The waiter arrived, and we placed the orders. I chose a steak, medium rare, while STELLA opted for a Caesar salad and white-sauced pasta. Only salad and pasta? I asked her. Yes, I'm vegan, she replied, her eyes stuck to the menu. Oh, I guess I'll eat veg then. I parsed an awkward laugh. Nice of you, EVERETT, she replied. I cancel the steak and all, then order the veg menu items. As the waiter left, I seized the moment. You know what, Jones, I was surprised when you agreed easily for dinner. STELLA looked up from the table, finally meeting my gaze, which made me nervous. Why is that? Well, you haven't exactly been my biggest fan and neither have I said, trying to keep my tone light. A faint smile played on STELLA's lips. True, but I owed you. A year you did. Our food arrived, interrupting the tentative truce forming between us. As we began to eat, I found myself sneaking glances at STELLA. I had always found her attractive, but tonight, there was something different. Maybe it was the way the candlelight reflected in her eyes, or the fact that she was here, sharing a meal with me despite our differences. The waiter poured us wine and she picked her glass and said, cheers. She was looking so beautiful even while eating her meal. I have never felt like this towards any girl. She stole my heart. My heart was still beating fast as if it was about to pop out from my chest. I was too nervous. After finishing our dinner, we ordered desserts. What would you like to order, Jones? A cheesecake, A chocolate ice cream and a red velvet cake, as STELLA said, eyeing the menu. My eyes widen at her list of desserts. I don't eat that much sweet, Jones, or that's for me, Everett. Order yourself what you want. ROE, I was too stunned. I just need some pancakes with honey, I said to the waiter. Pancake kid? She stared at me. Yup, have always been one, I said with a smirk. Nice little Everett. She giggled. Not funny, love, hurry, she laughed. Come on, Jones, stop it or else I'll make you. What will you do, Everett? I leaned closer to her. My lips touched her ears and I softly said, I'll show you, love. Stop it, Everett. She speaks a soft whisper. It's enough to turn me on. I lean back. She goes to pay the bill with her credit card in her hand. I know what's going to happen, so I giggle a little. What? She asks. Nothing, I just saw a joke on Instagram. That's called a meme, she says, and goes to pay with her card in her hand. I hear her saying, PLS, proceed with the payment fast. She says, forwarding the card to the manager. The dinner is on house, ma'am. It's free of cost just for today. What, why? She quickly rushes towards me. Everett, did you pay for the dinner? Do you fucking think I can't afford this? Answer. Of course, love, I did, but I can't let you know. I paid for each and every one present here just for you. No way, Jones, why would I pay? It was your treat, stop lying. Ask the owner then, I say with a smirk. She does as I say and the owner replies with, yes ma'am, it's free for everyone today. He lied just as I told him to. Of course I can't let her pay for our first date. Yes, I'm delusional, and why shouldn't I be? Okay, thanks, she replies. Ma'am, we have a small gift for you. Sorry, for what? Ma'am, it's my birthday today, so we are giving free return gifts. Okay, he hands her the gift. Of course that gift is from me. It's a cute necklace that's made of gold with a small diamond and satin and stars around it. I took a matching bracelet for myself, which is silver. She's fond of gifts, I can see it in her eyes just how happy she is to receive the gift. Thank you so much for the beautiful gift, she says to the owner. Little does she know, my sweet girl. She quickly unpacks the necklace and tries to wear it around her neck but fails 2 times, so instead I grab the movement and ask, want me to lend you a hand, Jones? No thanks, saying this she keeps the necklace back. The owner interrupts again, sir, we have a gift for you too. Well, that's nice. I planned this as if she ever gets to know I'm wearing the same bracelet as her she'll be suspicious, so I thought of this. He hands me the box which has a bracelet in it. I quickly unpack it and put it around my wrist. She says, a cool bracelet, Everett. To tease her I say, you're unlike you, love. Shut up, Everett. Her phone buzzes. Excuse me for a minute, Everett. She picks the call. After 20 minutes she comes back. Her face is pale, she's scared, I can easily see it on her face, but why? Who called her? Boyfriend? I asked to know who it was. None of your business, Everett. Fine, Jones, don't tell me as if I care. I asked because you were scared, nothing else. But I'm not scared at all. Okay then, let's head to the orchids. Yeah, sure. She takes slow steps towards the car. She's lost in her thoughts. Suddenly tears start rolling down her cheeks. I rushed towards her. What's wrong, Jones? Nothing, just feeling little dizzy, she replies. Let's head to the hospital, Jones. Caring enough, Mr. Everett, she says. Shut up, Jones, if anything happens to you I'm responsible as you were with me. Oh, so you care about yourself, she says with a smirk. Come on, Jones, get in the car. She gets in the car and soon we get her checked up. I was too worried as to what happened to her. I know she won't let me know what's wrong with her, so instead I bribed the doctors and asked them the details. She's too stressed at the movement and that's why she's panicking. There are chances she shall get panic attacks again. Please take care of her, okay? Give her proper treatment. I'll pay you thrice, just take care of her and keep me updated, or consequences won't be good if anything happens to her. As saying this I leave as she was about to come out from the washroom. I straighten my biac and walk out towards the car with her beside me. Chapter 22. Shattered. The second that text popped up on my screen, my heart was shattered into pieces. Fear took over me. I was too confused as to what will happen. It was from my mom - he will be visiting you soon. Behave yourself. Those words, he will be visiting you, were enough to make me weak, to make me vulnerable, to make tears roll down. We were about to leave the restaurant when Charles asked, "Are you okay, Jones?" That's when I realized I was crying. I just lied to him that I was feeling dizzy, and this guy is now forcing me to go to hospital. Like, bro, what is wrong with him? After spending 1 fucking hour for checkup, I was out walking beside him to his car. He thinks if I faint again, he'll be the one responsible. It sucks. Done with checkup? He asks, opening the door of the car. Stop pretending to care. Everett, even if I faint, I'm the one who's responsible. I said, I was just being nice, he said, and started the car. I badly want to drink tequila, beer, and what not, which can make me forget my mum even texted me and helped me sleep. So I broke the awkward silence and asked, please drop me off near any club he drinks. He asked, up. Let's go then, he said. What the heck, he can't accompany me. You aren't coming, lol, I said, laughing a little. Then I won't drop you there, he answered with a smirk on his face. That smirk. Damn it, I wanna punch him hard. Fine, you're allowed. Now pull over there. I can see a club there, I said, glaring out the window. Yes, love. Have some patience, I'm patient enough. I shout back. He parks the car and we enter the club. I haven't been here before. I have heard of this place a lot though. The Pulse Lounge is the city's premier destination for dancing and drinking, renowned for its vibrant atmosphere and eclectic music. Located in a chic, urban setting, the club features a spacious dance floor illuminated by pulsating LED lights and state-of-the-art sound systems. DJs spin a mix of the latest hits and timeless classics, keeping the energy high all night. Stylish bartenders craft innovative cocktails and serve top-shelf spirits, ensuring that every drink is as memorable as the night itself. With its sleek decor, lively crowd, and electrifying vibe, the Pulse Lounge is where the city comes alive after dark. Guys and girls dancing while their bodies collided. I would never ever dance in a club that's so cheap in my pee. I quickly head to the bar counter and order myself a tequila. Charles orders himself soda. After finishing tequila, I ordered myself some shots and gulped down almost 6 shots in a go. I asked the bartender to give me more shots as the previous bottle was empty. I drink another 2 shots. Everything nearby was dancing. I was feeling dizzy as well when I heard Everett. Stop drinking, Jones. You already had enough. Shut up, I can drink more. Don't interrupt, I replied to the 2 Everett sitting in front of me. I rubbed my eyes and then shouted, Are you his twin? Shut up, Jones, let's go. He tightens his grip on my wrist. I removed my hand from his grip and then went to the dance floor. I swayed my body with the rhythm and danced. A boy came forward and placed his hand on my waist. I tried to brush off his hand, but he was too strong. Are you alone, beautiful? He asked, to which I was about to reply, but Everett came. Leave before I break your neck, he said in angry tone. His eyes were red by now. The guy left. Are you fucking done? He shouted at me. No, I'm not. Go if you want to. I can manage on my own, I replied, still dancing. He went to the bartender. Maybe he will drink too. I was dancing when another guy came and pulled me in by grabbing my waist. What the fuck, I shouted. Nothing, chill, girl. He said. I wasn't in my senses at all. He placed his hand on my neck. I tried hard to remove his hand but failed. Stop! I shouted. Charles shot the guy on his back. The bullet was so close to me that even if I moved an inch, it would have been me to take that bullet. My ears were ringing and I felt dizzy and fainted. Everyone was rushing out the club. She sat in the car beside me and started whining like a baby that she wanted to go to club. I couldn't let her go alone. Her dress was hugging her waist and all I wanted was to rip out that dress and replace the dress with my body. We got in the club and it was a mess. Drunk people dancing, making out and whatnot. She went to the bartender and drank 8 tequila shots. Damn this girl. I drank soda and vodka. I wasn't in the mood to drink anyways, but as she insisted I had to. After drinking, she went on the dance floor and started dancing. I wasn't very fond of dancing, but seeing her dance made me want to dance too, but I didn't. I sat and watched her sway her body. It was as if an angel is dancing. A boy came towards her and asked something which made me jealous as hell. I went straight to him, pushed him away from her and said, leave before I break your neck here, and he did. I went back and took my seat. STELLA wasn't ready to come back yet. so I had to wait. I went to the restroom, and when I came back I saw a man with his hand on her waist. STELLA struggled to remove his hand but failed. I quickly took out my pistol and pulled the trigger. I aimed at him and shot him on his back. The guy was getting on my nerves as he touched what was mine. After seeing this, STELLA fainted. I hope she doesn't remember any of it, as I will hack and delete each and every footage of the club, and my men will take care of the rest. I picked STELLA in my arms, and as she was unconscious I whispered in her ears, "Soon you will be mine, and no one can even lay their eyes on you, love. I'll rip and tear them apart if anyone dare to look at you. I promise you, my love. I have anger issues, love, but I swear to God I will never ever hurt you." Of course she couldn't hear me, but I promised her, and I always keep my word. I carefully place her on the back seat and keep her head on my lap. I told the driver to take us to the orchids. I ran my fingers through her hairs and kissed her forehead. Few hairs were covering her eyes and disturbing her. I tucked them behind her ears. Why was she so scared? Who texted or called her that made her so sad? I gently pick her finger and unlock her mobile. I need to know what she feared. I went through her call log, but she received none in the evening. I quickly open the WhatsApp and start checking the texts. There was one unread text in archives from her mom. She saved her number in mom. No emojis, nothing were there. I opened the text, and there it was, the reason she was so scared. I don't know who the would be, but the text said, he will be visiting you. Behave yourself. She left the text unseen. She didn't even replied. Who was the person? I need to know, but what do I do? If I ask her, she will never ever tell me. I replied to the text, "Do you mean him?" 3 dots appeared, and quickly a text popped up. "Yes, your old friend Chase. We all know about the past, but it was your mistake, so make sure not to disappoint him or what happened in the past." Why is she afraid of him? What did he do? So many questions flooded in. If she's scared, that means he's not good. So I think I will take her to my penthouse. I can't risk letting her live alone when there's chances that he might show up and she's too drunk. We reached the orchids. Leo was there at the door waiting for me. He jumped to reach my shoulder and barked a little. He knew STELLA. She used to play with him sometimes. I carefully kept her on my bed. The penthouse was huge with lot of bedrooms. I won't sleep away from her. I decide to sit on the chair. If she gets up, she'll be scared. I need to be here. She was still wearing her black dress, which hugged her waist. Leo jumped on the bed and slept beside her. Leo never ever loves anyone. He always barks and makes people go away. For the first time he loved STELLA. He always liked to be around her. MIA STELLA's cat. Leo always barks at other cats and scares them away. He did that once with MIA too, but STELLA patted his head, and I don't know what she did, but after that he stopped barking at her. MIA and Leo are now like friends. STELLA wrapped her hand around Leo's neck and Leo slept. Sometimes I feel jealous. Leo and MIA get to be around her and feel her love, but what about me? They were looking so cute while sleeping. All I wanted to do was lay beside them, but I can't. STELLA's phone buzzes and I make my way towards her and unlock the mobile with her fingerprint. It was her unknown number. I quickly opened the text. "I'll be there at 11 in morning, darling. Make sure to take a leave or else you know what will happen." Who the fuck is this guy? Damn this guy, I already want to kill him, but I can't. I need to come up with a plan. I can't let her meet him. Chapter 23. Devil's Game. I woke up in a daze, my head pounding, and my surroundings unfamiliar. The room was enormous, yet it felt lifeless and cold. Everything was black and white, monochrome and dull, like someone had drained all the color from life. Where the hell was I? Panic set in as I scanned the room. It took me a moment to steady myself before I slid out of bed. My legs felt weak, but curiosity and confusion drove me to explore. I wandered through the house, or should I call it a mansion? It was massive, with endless hallways and staircases. There was even an elevator inside. An elevator in a house. Who does that? After what felt like half an hour, I heard the clatter of utensils. My heart quickened as I followed the noise. It led me to the kitchen, where Charles Everett was standing at the counter, his back to me. Even from behind, he looked ridiculously good. Broad shoulders, defined muscles visible through his white t-shirt. "Everett." I called softly. He turned, his expression unreadable, and gave me an awkward smile. Morning. How did I end up here? I demanded. You don't remember? He asked, arching a brow. I racked my brain, but all I got was a hazy blur. All I remember is us going to the club. I drank, and everything else is just black. He leaned back against the counter, crossing his arms. Let me fill you in. You got drunk, danced like crazy, and then refused to leave when the club closed. After that, you told me why you were upset. My stomach dropped. What had I told him? What did I say? I asked cautiously, my voice barely above a whisper. He hesitated, then said, You mentioned that your old friend, the one you hate, is coming today, and that your mom is pressuring you to behave around him. Oh no, did I really say that? My heart sank as memories of Chase surfaced. The thought of him finding me here made my skin crawl. Here, have some lemonade, EVERETT said, handing me a glass. Still reeling, I took it without thinking. I think I remember something about firing at the club, I muttered. He frowned. What? No. Jones, that didn't happen. You must have imagined it because you were drunk. I sighed and took a sip of the lemonade. The cool, tangy liquid was refreshing, but my knees lingered. I couldn't stop thinking about Chase and what would happen when he arrived. Running away from the Philippines to L hadn't been enough to escape him. But then, something felt off. My head began to spin, and my limbs grew heavy. A strange drowsiness washed over me, like I was sinking into quicksand. Everett, what did you put in this? I asked, my voice slurring. Some drugs. Love, he said nonchalantly. What? My eyes widened in shock, but my body was too weak to react. Relax. Jones, you'll forget everything in a couple of hours. I just need some answers, he said calmly, his voice distant as my world turned dark again. I knew she would never spill the beans if I asked her when she was sober, so instead I drugged her so that I can know the truth. I need to know the truth in order to protect her. After 15 minutes the drug will work. I wait patiently. The anger in the eyes was as if it was the fire of a volcano. 15 minutes passed and I started questioning her. Who is coming to visit you? The jerk Chase, she said in a scared voice. It breaks my heart to see her like this. Why are you so afraid of him? I questioned, sliding my fingers under her chin and lifting up her face so that she looks into my eyes. She tried to dash. She sobs she's not sober yet she's so scared. She faints. Shit and no, she can't do this. How will I protect her if I don't know the truth? I picked her up in my arms and put her on my bed. I kissed her forehead and whispered, I'm sorry love, I didn't mean to drug you, but I had to do that. You're too stubborn. I let her sleep. I go to the kitchen and make us lunch. After 5 hours she's up and groaning. I can hear her bones breaking as she's stretching herself. I quickly head towards the room she's in. Afternoon Jones. What Everett, where am I? Chill Jones, you passed out last night in the club. I brought you to my penthouse. Oh, it surely is huge. She gets up, picks up her bag and her heels. She heads towards the exit, but fails to find the exit. Where the heck is the exit? She shouts, I need to talk to you, Jones. I reply as calmly as possible. What? I'm late, Everett. I need to be at work. I talked to the chief. It's your day off, so no worries. What WHY? Jones, I know your dad's boss son is coming and I know what he did to you. I shouted. She froze. What? She was about to lose balance when I grabbed her by her waist. She brushed off my hand and took steps backwards. Jones, you and I may hate each other, but trust me, I won't ever hurt you that way. How did you got to know about him? You were drunk, Jones, that's when you told me. Stop lying, Everett, I won't do that. You did, Jones. I have a plan against him. I won't ever go against him. I can't hurt him, Everett. Please leave me on my own. Don't poke your nose into my business. J. Jones waited before I could say anything. She exited. Leo was running behind her, wagging his tail, but for the first time she ignored him. I took a hold of Leo's belt and got him back in. Stop, Leo. She doesn't need our help. I rushed back into the house angry as hell and sat on the couch. After 5 minutes I hear the doorbell ring continuously. Who the fuck even dared to ring the doorbell? I clearly wrote, don't ring the bell more than once. I quickly rush to open the door. I like privacy in my house, so I don't have any helpers around. I love my privacy too much. I checked the screen to see who that was, and it was my love. She was scared, sweat dripping from her forehead. I quickly opened the door. Jones? She didn't even answer but got in the house and sat on the couch. Hes here, she said, scared. Her hands trembling and shaking. What? He Chase, no, the monster is here. What do I do? No, this isn't real. I'm dreaming again. This can't be real. No, it's all a dream. I wrapped my arm around her hands while she was slapping herself, thinking this is a dream. I shook her a little to bring her back to her senses. Jones, it isn't a dream. I will help you calm down. How will you? I tell her the entire plan, and then she calms down a little. Tears still streaming down her cheeks. She was sitting on the edge of the bed. I kneel down before her. Jones, it's fine. I understand your pain, but think logically. Don't be scared, Jones. You are strong more than you know. Remember how you kicked me in the elevator? She lets out a chuckle. Yeah, but this is totally different, Everett. It may be different, but you should be strong, Jones. We will follow our perfect plan, okay? Yes, thank you for helping, Everett. I'll treat you to dinner. It seems good enough. Come on now, tell me, where did you saw him? I questioned. I saw him in the lobby when I was about to leave and visit Scar. That means he must be right outside your house? Yeah, probably. Ready, Jones? Yeah, let's go. I extend my hand a little, and then she keeps her hand in mine. That's the brave Jones in you. Sarcastic and rude. Stop it, please. I'm already nervous. Oh, so you do get nervous, I thought you. I teased her to ease the tension. We got in the elevator and went to her house. Approaching her home with slow steps, we saw a masculine figure standing right outside her house, continuously calling someone, probably calling my love. I want to rip out his heart from his chest and give him a painful death. She tightens her grip around my arm and we stare at each other for a second and move ahead. Welcome back, she says. And who's this? He asks. He's my boyfriend, she says. Oh, I see, he replies, staring at me, and I gave him a dreadful look as I hate him already. So will you introduce us? He asks. Damn it, this jerk got nerves to ask for my introduction. He's Charles Everett, CEO of the Star Group companies, she says, looking at me. And he's my old friend Chase. You're okay? I say, my eyes stuck on her. He forwards his hand to shake my hand, but I don't bother shaking his hand. Instead, I ignore him. Let's go, Stella. Shall we? Stella, I just came and I don't fucking have a place to stay, so stop right there. Actually, I have habit of sleeping alone, but it's fine, you can have my keys. I'll sleep over at Charles. Anyways, we have a date today, so I won't be home, she smiled. Stop right there, Stella, he said, almost shouting at her. If only I could, I would slit open his throat and kill him right now for shouting at her. What? She answers, but still she didn't shout it at him. Why the heck is she scared? I'm right here. She keeps shouting at me, but still she doesn't have guts to shout at him. I need to talk, he says. She walks to him and so do I. Alone, he says. I don't plan on leaving my girlfriend alone. I say with a smirk. Stella. He shouts at her. Charles, I'll be back. Wait here. Okay, I say. They head inside the house and my heart is aching to leave her alone with him. He shuts the door and I stand right there outside the door, waiting for her to be okay. I'm so scared to be alone here with him. My heart is beating so fast. I don't know if I can survive this, but still I told Charles that I will talk with him alone. Why the heck did I do that? He shouted at me again like that day. He always keeps shouting at me and I'm too scared to shout back. I know what he's capable of. I don't know, it's been almost 6 years, but still I fear him too much. That day still seems like it was yesterday. Stella. He shouts again, which brings me back to reality as I was too lost in my thoughts. Yes, I reply softly. So you got a boyfriend, ho? Yeah, I replied, still scared of him. Seems like you forgot you are my bird and you are supposed to be trapped in my cage. How dare you to think you can have a boyfriend? Huh? I am not your birdie, I said softly. Oh Stella, you are mine, all mine. Mine to fuck, mine to kiss, and only mine. Charles is listening to him right now as I called him when I entered the house. I am not sure what this jerk can do. I try to speak up, but I failed miserably. Tears start rolling down my eyes, just when he notices that Charles is on the line. Seems like your boyfriend is listening. Fuck off, he shouts at Charles and then hangs up. Oh shit, no, he can't do this. He comes forward. He wipes my tear with his thumb. He brushes his lips against my cheeks, which makes me scared and reminders of that night floods in my memory. And no, stop please, I barely managed to speak. Want me to stop? Break up with him right now or else I'll make sure he's dead, and no way, I can't let him die. I can't let him die because of me. I can't. You are mine bird. You are supposed to stay caged in my world, you can never escape. I was hugging my knees tightly, too scared of him, just when I heard the sound of doorbell ringing. Seems like your boyfriend isn't patient, and no, please don't hurt him. He's not my boyfriend. My bird learned to lie, ho. I am not lying, he holds my jaw and lifts my face. His face inches away from mine, which makes me want to puke. I struggled to get rid of his hand, but still I failed, so I remembered Charles' words. You are strong, Jones. I kicked him hard, which made him groan, and he fell on the floor. Thankfully, now I need to get the hell out of here. I rush towards the door, when he tightens the grip around my ankle. I try hard to get rid of his hand, but instead I fall down. He gets up and puts his hand across my neck. Sorry bird, you'll never get to escape. No, I have to escape. Stop this please, I can't. I'm addicted to your body. Ops, I'm addicted to you, to your gorgeous body and the urge to fuck you. Then I can't stop. He brushes his lips through my cheeks and his hand slides down my waist. That's when I heard a loud noise. We both rush out. He's still holding my hand tightly. I saw Charles entering and the door was broke. I don't know how he managed to break the door, and honestly I don't care about that. I quickly try to go towards him, but he tightens his grip around my wrist, which turns my wrist red. Leave her, now! He shouts at the arsehole. In your dreams, a Chase shouts back. Charles come forward towards me and punched him on his face. He leaves my hand and I rush and go behind Charles. You, how dare you punch me? Chase the monster removes the knife out of the jacket. Charles lets out a chuckle and comes to me. Jones, wait outside. I don't want you to get hurt. No, he'll hurt you. Trust me, Jones, no one can fucking hurt me. I go outside as he forces me to go. Go bird, wait for me outside. I'll kill your boyfriend and be back soon. Shut the fuck up, I refused to head outside, but Charles pushed me out. I waited at the door. The sound of them fighting made me nervous. I'll kill you, I heard Chase saying, and no way, he can't do that. There was complete silence. I tried to open the broken door, but before pushing me out, Charles blocked the door by keeping the couch there. I pushed the door harder, but instead I fell. I heard him laughing. Is he dead? And no, Charles can't die. I can't live with the thought that he does because of me. The door creaks and slowly it opens. I close my eyes. I'm dead, he will never let me go now. I stay at the door and sat down on the floor, hugged my knees and started sobbing. Chapter 24. Movie night. I stood in the room, my eyes locked on Chase, who stood across me, breathing heavily. The air between us crackled with tension, shadows dancing on the walls from the flickering light overhead. My fists were clenched and knuckles white. Chase wiped a trickle of blood from his split lip, his eyes burning with fury. You think you can just walk away from this? He spat, his voice low and dangerous. I took a step forward, my expression cold and unyielding. I'm not walking away. I'm ending this. Without another word, Chase swinged a wild punch at my head. I ducked, with my swift movements and precise, and countered with a hard jab to Chase's ribs. The impact sent a shockwave of pain through Chase's body, but he ignored it, driven by adrenaline and rage. We circled each other, exchanging blows that echoed through the room. Chase fought with brute force, his punches powerful but lacking control. Me, on the other hand, moved with calculated precision, every strike deliberate and effective. Chase threw a right hook, but I deflected it with his forearm, stepping in close to deliver a devastating elbow to Chase's jaw. Chase staggered back, seeing stars. but he refused to go down. He roared in frustration and charged at me, tackling me to the ground. We grappled on the floor, a chaotic tangle of limbs and fury. Chase managed to land a few good hits, his fists connecting with my face and torso. But with a burst of strength, I twisted out of Chase's grip and kicked him off. Both of us scrambled to our feet, breathing hard. Chase's vision blurred, and his movements became sluggish, each strike more desperate than the last. I feinted left, then delivered a crushing right hook that sent Chase sprawling. Chase lay there, struggling to get up, but his body betrayed him. I stood beside him and let out a chuckle, my chest heaving knowing this fight was over. You will kill me, ho? I laughed. Yes, I will, he said out loud. In your dreams. You don't even know who I am, so stay away from her or else I'll kill you next time. Is saying this, I kick him on his chest. He groans in pain. She is mine and not yours. I own her, he shouts. She isn't a toy that you can own. Get your ass out of the city before I kill you. There's no way I'll do that until I get her with me. If you don't leave by tonight, I'll make sure that your dead body isn't found. I exit. I shift the couch which I kept there to prevent Stella from entering. I come out and search for her. When I look back, she's there sitting, with her head buried in her elbows. She's hugging her knees and sobbing. I kneel down. I swear I have never ever kneeled for anyone, but if it's her I will 1,000 times. Being a Mafia prince I never had to, but for her I'll kneel before her 1,000 times. I quietly call out her name. Jones? She picks up her head and looks at me with her eyes filled with tears. She gets on her knees and hugs me tighter, her one hand wrapped around my waist and another one on the back of my head. I hugged her back, my hands now tightly wrapped around her waist. Just how easily she calms me down. My anger disappeared and now I just wanted to kiss her, to tell her she was okay, to tell her I won't let anyone hurt her, never ever. Thank God you are fine, Charles. I'm so sorry because of me you are hurt. I am sorry, Charles. This girl, she thinks it's a fault. Little does she know I will die for her and will kill for her happily. Jones, calm down. I pull out of the hug. I keep my hands on her shoulder. She's staring at the ground. I lift her face so that now she looks at me, her eyes filled with tears. You think I'm that weak, ho? She laughs with her tears flooded in her eyes. I know you are strong, but I'm sorry for including you in this mess. It's fine, Jones. You owe me lunch now. Yeah, I will. Now I will go, I say, standing up. Wait, let me treat your wounds. We head to my penthouse. I hate how she thinks it's because of her. I hate it when she keeps blaming herself. I wanna kiss her and tell her that it's not her fault and how grateful I'm to have her in my life. I winced as I eased myself into the chair, the pain from the fight throbbing through his body. Stella moved quickly but gently, gathering supplies from the first aid kit on the table, her hands shaking slightly. The room was tense with a silence that was heavy and uncomfortable, a stark contrast to the chaos that had erupted earlier. I'm sorry, as Stella whispered, her voice barely audible. She knelt beside me, her eyes filled with guilt and sorrow. This is all my fault. You got hurt because of me. I bit back a groan as she dabbed antiseptic on a deep cut on my cheek. It's not your fault, Stella. He's the one who caused this. But if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have had to fight him, as she said, her voice cracking. She continued to clean my wounds, her touch gentle but firm, her eyes avoiding mine. I watched her in silence, my own feelings a tumultuous mix of pain, anger, and love deeper than the ocean for her. Seeing her like this, vulnerable and sad, made it harder to keep up the pretense. Stella moved to my hands, carefully bandaging my bruised and blooded knuckles. Her fingers brushed against mine, sending a jolt of warmth through MS despite the pain. I wish I could make this right, she murmured. You didn't do anything wrong, I said, my voice softer now. I watched as she worked, the concern in her eyes clear. Chase is responsible for his own actions. She looked up at me then, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. But you got hurt because of him, because of me. I shook my head slightly, wincing at the movement. I can handle a few bruises. Stella, you think I'm that weak? She finished bandaging my hands and moved to examine a large bruise on my forehead, her touch gentle and reassuring. You don't need to protect me, she said quietly. Why? Jones, stop overthinking. I'd protect you 1,000 times over. I hesitated. The words caught in my throat. The truth was right there, on the tip of my tongue. But I couldn't bring myself to say it. Because someone has to. Here I said finally. The evasive answer felt hollow even to me. Stella sighed, pressing a cold compress against my bruised ribs. I just wish you didn't have to. I reached out, placing a hand on hers. Look, it's over now. He won't bother you again. She glanced up at me, her expression softening. She finished dressing my wounds and we sat there in silence for a moment, the weight of unspoken words hanging between us. I studied her, the sadness in her eyes tugging at something deep inside me. Stella, I began, my voice tentative. You don't need to feel guilty about this. I'd fight 100 times over if it meant keeping you or any other girl safe. She looked at me, her eyes searching mine. Thank you, Everett. Even though you hate me, you helped. I'm grateful. Little does she know how grateful I'm to meet her, to have her in my life. I took a deep breath, the facade I had maintained for so long finally crumbling. Maybe because I don't. I admitted quietly. It's not that I hate you, but I'm not used to talking to any girl. I always find them boring, so I talk rudely. As she stared at me, her expression a mix of shock and something else, something hopeful. I never knew that. No girl? She whispered. Well, my sister and mother are exceptions. I said, my voice soft but firm. She leaned in, her forehead resting against mine. Thank you, Everett, for everything. I'm sorry for being rude to you earlier. I closed my eyes, savoring the closeness, the warmth of her touch. That's okay though, as she hugged me tightly. I don't know what would have happened if you weren't there. I was there. I said, I don't know what happened, but you just told me that is not good. Can you tell what happened, And no, I don't think I can. It's too traumatic. I'm sorry. No problem. Do consult a therapist if possible. I have a friend if you need. Yeah, I really do. Please text me the contact information. Okay, I'll do that. If he shows up again, make sure to let me know. Yeah, sure. And you can sleep here tonight if you want. I broke your door, sorry for that. No, it's fine, I'll get it fixed and spend night at Jenna or Scar. Okay, fine, if you need anything ring me. Thanks for everything, Everett. She kept thanking me, but I wanted to thank her for entering my life. No one except Klaus has entered my penthouse. She's the first one to enter my house and my heart. She heads out, I decide to stop and confess my feelings for her. Stella, you can bring MIA with you if you want to sleep here. It isn't the perfect time for confession, so I decide I won't confess. Yeah, sure, if Jenna and Scarlet aren't home, I'll hang in here, she said with a soft smile on her face. I don't have any idea what she's going through, but I want to be with her in every movement. You can call them and ask her itself. Oh yeah, Ali, she calls them and talks to them standing in the balcony. Leo beside her. I wonder why Leo loves her. He never ever lets anyone touch him and barks at people. He has never let anyone near him, not even Klaus. She's first after me, that Leo cherishes. She comes back after almost 30 minutes. What took her so long? Is he actually there out? Jenna is at her mum's house and Scar is having a group study session. But Jenna, she kept her keys under the doormat, so I guess that'll work, she explains me. Oh Jones, I guess he should stay here. He still hasn't left the country. She agreed without giving it a second thought, as she was too scared. Thank you so much, Everett. It's fine, Jones, she's wearing the necklace that I gifted her. Of course, she doesn't know that I gifted her that. She thinks the hotel manager gave her, but that's fine. You can sleep in the guest room or any one of your choice. The penthouse has almost 15 rooms, so feel free to choose 1 inch. Everett, do you have some spare time? Is that even a thing she should ask? I cancelled all my meetings just for her. Yes, Jones, I do. I wanted to take shower, but as you know the door is broken. Can you just sit in the hall as if there's no one and would rush out? Fine. I will wait with Leo. Leo loves to play with Emmy. Yeah, that's nice. Even Emmy loves Leo, she says, walking into the shower. I walk in the shower and turn on the cold tap. I'm so scared. What if he shows up again? Will he take me away? Will he kill Charles? No, he can't. Charles is stronger. I stood under the cold icy shower, tears welling up in my eyes, but the water makes them invisible. My eyes red from crying. I sat down in the bathtub and sobbed. I wish I was never born. Wouldn't it be good? No burden on anyone. I rubbed my skin hard, which turns it red. I wish I wasn't the girl he was obsessed with. I wish I never met him. I wish I never helped him. I closed my eyes and felt the icy cold water against my skin. I slowly opened my eyes and turned around only to see a masculine figure standing there shirtless, smirking at me and slowly taking steps close to me. I quickly put on my bathrobe and rushed out of the shower, pushing him hard. Everett, he's here in the shower. How did he got in? What, that's not possible, Stella. But I saw him with my eyes. I'll check, he said, and rushed to the shower. I went in my room to get dressed. I put on grey joggers and a camisole which was way too comfy. I came out only to see Everett standing in front with his hands on his waist. What? I raised my eyebrows, questioning. He's gone? I asked before he could speak. Jones, you were hallucinating, there was no one. You should rest. Oh, I thought. Sorry for the trouble, I said, not letting him know that I was scared. I didn't want to let him know that I was weak. Let's go? He questioned. And no, I think I should not cause more trouble to you. I'll sleep over at Jenner's. I said, it's fine. You are never trouble for me. Yes, I know, but Dashi, I have my self-respect, and I don't want to cause him more trouble. I will surely have nightmares, and that'll be troublesome. He cut me off in the mid. No more if and but. You are sleeping over at my house, and that's final, he roared angrily. Why was he angry? Whatever. I ignored him and carried MAA into my arms and patted Leo and took the elevator. Charles rushed behind me before the door of elevator closed. Rudy, he whispered. I heard that. I yelled. So? He raised his eyebrows. Nothing. I said back and exited the elevator. I stood there holding MEA and Leo wagging his tail behind me, waiting for Charles to open the door. Come on, hurry up, Everett, everyone is waiting. He was trying to jump down my arms, but I hold her tightly against my chest. Moi aussi. Jer tens kututums emaru. Sa. De moi. Me too, I'm waiting for you to fall in love with me. What was that? I asked, confused, as I didn't knew which language he just spoke. Nothing, he said, letting out a chuckle. Stop cursing at me, I know you just cursed. You don't know that I will never in my life curse at you, he said, walking in and settling on the couch. God knows which language you are speaking. I yelled. It's French, mon amour. My love. He said, giggling. Huh, not again, I said, frustrated. I tried to goggle the meaning, but before I could I forgot the exact words. He had the TV remote in his hand, which I wanted to snatch. But never mind, I walked into the room with Leo and MIA behind me. I don't remember the exact room, but I knew it was on second floor. So we got into the elevator and went upstairs while Charles was busy watching some boring news. I remember the room I was in that night, which I think is guest room, so I went in there and jumped on the bed. Leo came in for cuddles beside me while MIA started playing with Leo's tail. Leo barked once, which made MIA jump in fear, but instead MIA started hitting him on face with her little paw. But Leo stayed calm and just switched the place and sat behind me. I laughed. Charles was downstairs and the volume of the music was high. I came out of the room and leaned against the glass and shouted, Everett. He stood up and I screamed, what the heck? I turned around, not facing him. The TV was mute now and there was complete silence. What's wrong? He asked. I didn't even look at him. Can't you put on a shirt, Dumbo? Oops, sorry, I have never have any girl in my house, so I forgot that or whatsoever. He put on his usual white tee. I went back in after taking Emia back into the room. I lay on the bed and curled up into a ball, hugging Leo as Emia doesn't like when I touch her. I sat up and saw the text that popped up on my screen. It was from Scar. Scar, are you okay, baby girl? Me, yes, Charles handled things well. Scar dash a what? Me, he will fill you in when you are back a Scar. That's not fair. Me, by BBG. I said, laughing, as I knew she won't be able to sleep now. I didn't want to distress her, that's why I didn't told her anything. I hope my bed is comfortable. A voice interrupted while I was laughing. He was standing there leaning against the door, his abs visible which were so hot. Damn it. I glared at his abs and then at him and raised my eyebrows. Sorry? That's my room, love. Oh, I'll leave. Anyways, I wanted to watch a movie. I said it was awkward that I was laying on his bed. He smirked. Actually, I was watching the movie itself. Want to join? Which? I asked quickly. The Vampire Diaries Season 3 EO. Whoever reached down first will get the remote. I yell at started rushing down the stairs. I reached the last stair but I slipped. I closed my eyes knowing that I was about to fall, but then I felt a hand grabbing my waist. I slowly opened my eyes seeing Charles close to me, which made my heart flutter. What the heck, why is my heart fluttering? I quickly brushed off his hand and tucked my hairs behind my ears awkwardly. I took the remote and started the first episode of Friends. It was my comfort show. Which show is that? He questioned, standing behind. S.E. Oh, coolly, he said and sat beside me. Actually, I have a better place, he said. What's that? I questioned. EA open movie theater. Up for it, or do you wanna watch on this tiny screen? He asked. Wow, I'm up for it. I said, excited. Nice, let's go. I was seeing something like this for first time. It was so gorgeous. Perks of having a penthouse, ho? I quickly took my seat and then ordered ice cream and some chips to eat. Liked it? Yes, it's just too good. Thanks, that's nice then. So can we watch some other movie? He asks. How about we watch a series? I asked him. Not in the mood for that, he said. Are fine, whatever, we'll watch something else then, I said to him. We started a rom-com movie and then the doorbell rang. I knew it was ice cream and stuff I ordered. Who the hell is this? Charles roared. Actually, I ordered some stuff. I'll receive that, he said and went. Soon my chocolate mint ice cream came, and I scooped and ate it. I know I'll be sick, but that's fine, I don't care. I offered some to Charles, but he just took one bite. Like who doesn't eat ice cream? I opened the packet of spicy chips and stuffed them in. The flashbacks of the morning still come in between, and my eyes welled up with tears, but still I looked at the sky and managed to hold my tears. I don't want to show him that I'm weak. I took a glance at him to make sure he wasn't looking at me, and he was staring at the stars and moon. You love them? What? He replied back, now looking at me. You love stars and moon? Yes, I do, he replied, switching his gaze from me to the sky. Why? I asked out of curiosity. They're with me each and every time. Like no one else, they never leave my side. They're constant. They know what I have been through. Or I never knew that rude Charles had a soft spot for the stars and moon. Hush, shut up, I just don't like people, they're too irritating. Both the stars and the moon evoke a sense of mystery and beauty. They invite me to ponder the unknown, to dream, and to seek a deeper understanding of the universe and my place within it. He replied while his eyes shined when the moonlight fell on them. The ocean blue eyes never failed to attract me. I loved his eyes, and whenever he looked at me I could easily get lost in his eyes, not knowing what's happening in the world, but I can't do that. Whenever he looks at me I break the eye contact. What about you? What do you like? He asked, facing me with his sparkling blue eyes. Rain and snowfall. I replied quickly. Okay, he replied. I was barely awake, all I wanted was to sleep. The movie was good, but still not that interesting. I wanted to sleep, but I can't. I know I will have a nightmare and panic attacks, and Charles can't know I'm that weak. He already knows enough. I struggled to keep my eyes open and stuffed ice cream in my little mouth. He laughed, looking at me. What? You are eating like you haven't ate ice cream from years. Shut up. I shouted with my mouth full of ice cream. Ha 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 ha. He laughed. Jerk. We continued watching the movie, and I took a glance at his sparkling eyes in between, making sure that he doesn't notice me. Goddamn, his eyes are like a devil. Chapter 25. Dancing in the Rain. I knew she was scared, so I decided to watch the movie with her. I don't want her to be alone, that's why I'm accompanying her, and cancelled all my schedules. I took her to the open theater, and she was so surprised and happy to see that. That smile was the reason I fell for her. She's so damn cute. I love her so much. She was so happy and she started walking around and looking at the things. I set up everything and then we watched a movie. She saw me staring at the moon and stars and she asked why I love them. I didn't told her the real reason, of course, but I told her something similar and that's fine. I still don't think I should tell her everything honestly. I asked her what she loves, to which she said rain and snowfall. Who in the world loves them? Isn't it weird? I hate rains, but if she loves it then I'll love them too. She was so sleepy that her eyes were barely open, but still she managed to keep them open and stuffed the ice cream in her mouth. I laughed looking at her, to which she got angry. It was such a boring movie. I was just staring at her half of the time. Once we made eye contact when I saw she was staring at me too. Why was she looking at me? I was about to go back when I noticed she was asleep. The clouds gathered in the sky. What the fuck is this, the first rain? Damn, I can't wake her up. I rushed in and brought her umbrella and a plastic cover. It was an open terrace, so there was nothing to protect us from rain. I had some plastic covers, so I got them and then covered the whole area. But still there were some spots which were open, and that would make her wake up if she feels the rain. Should I wake her up? No, she was sleepy, I shouldn't do that. I brought a huge umbrella to cover her. I sat close to her so that she was now keeping her head on my shoulder. She was asleep and was looking so gorgeous. Her pink lips, her cute eyes, her hairs, and everything. Her hair's lying on her lips. I tucked the hair strand behind her ear and softly kissed her cheeks, making sure that she doesn't wake up. It started raining. I hate the rain, but still, to protect her, I sat there totally drenched and held her umbrella over her to make sure she doesn't get drenched. The sadness in her eyes could be clearly seen. I don't know why she's pretending to be okay and smiling. I can easily understand her only by looking at her eyes and her face. I wish I could make her trust me so that she can easily rely on me for everything. I know she is sad and suffering, and I just want to kill that bastard. I feel so helpless. I'm holding the umbrella with one hand and with another protecting her face from raindrops. She groaned in her sleep a little. She turned around and I switched my place with umbrella over her. I couldn't cover her legs with an umbrella. It was heavy rain, so no matter what I did it kept interrupting her. I removed my shirt and kept it on her thighs, but that didn't help. Now I was shirtless. I decided to take her in or else she may get sick. I picked her up over my shoulder, holding her up, and with one hand carrying her umbrella. I got to my bedroom, so did Leo and MIA following us. I gently tried to keep her on the bed, but instead she groaned. So I stopped with her body over my shoulders and decided to try again, as she tightened her grip on my neck, making me choke. I tried to put her on the bed again, but instead MIA came in between and I tripped over. We both fell on the bed and my lips on hers. She was awake now and I was lost. Her lips touching mine. She was looking at me confused as hell. I couldn't take myself off her. I was on top of her with our lips touching each other's. She pushed me hard and I fell on the floor. I couldn't even process what happened now. I kissed her. She kissed me. Wow. I was lost in my delusional thoughts when I saw her getting down the bed. What the hell, Everett? Why are you not wearing a shirt? She yelled at me. If it was some other girl I would have killed her right there, but it was my love. I didn't meant to, I tripped, that's how. I swear I didn't do it intentionally. I said, I was never this scared before. Scared of losing her. Scared that she won't believe me and think I'm someone creepy like him. I kept repeating those words. I am sorry for tripping over, I should have been careful. Okay, I trust that you're not lying. What about your shirt? She said, which was a relief. Wait, why you drenched? She asked, looking at me. My sweatpants were dripping with water, and now the grey sweatpants turned dark grey. It was raining, so my shirt was soaked. What worry? She rushed out to the terrace and I followed her. I put on a tea and went after her. Wait. I growled, scared that she might fall sick. I was totally drenched with rainwater. She stepped out into the rain, her face lighting up as the first drops splashed against her skin. She spun around with arms outstretched, embracing the downpour. Her clothes quickly soaked through, clinging to her as she danced and laughed. The rain dripped from her hair, framing her radiant smile. Each drop seemed to wash away her worries, leaving her feeling exhilarated and free. She splashed through puddles, her feet sending up sprays of water that sparkled in the grey light. Her laughter was infectious, echoing through the empty streets. The rain, once a simple weather phenomenon, transformed into a symphony of joy around her. She jumped and twirled, her movements graceful and uninhibited, as if the rain had given her permission to forget the constraints of everyday life. She closed her eyes, lifted her face to the sky, and let the rain embrace her, reveling in the pure, unfiltered joy of the moment. The world around her faded into a blur of sound and sensation, leaving only the feeling of being utterly alive. In that moment, soaked to the bone and smiling as if nothing else mattered, she felt the happiest she had ever been. She opened her arms and welcomed the rain. I stared at her and felt happiness. I wish that smile of her never fades away. If anyone ever dared to steal that smile, I'll make sure to kill that person and make them regret. She exclaimed, "It feels good." Yes, it does. Little does she know I hate the rain. What feels good is seeing her happy without worries. She splashed water towards me. What, stop Jonesy, I said, bringing my hand up to cover my face, our laughter mingling with the rhythmic sound of raindrops hitting the ground. She, with her bright eyes and wide smile, led the way, twirling and jumping into puddles, sending water splashing in all directions. Her wet hair clung to her face, but she didn't mind. She was in her element. I followed, a grin spreading across my face as I watched her sheer delight. At one point, she grabbed my hand and pulled me into a particularly large puddle. We jumped together, creating a massive wave that soaked us from head to toe. Gasping for breath between fits of laughter, we stood there for a moment, letting the rain wash over us. This is my first time doing this childish things, but I don't mind if that makes her happy. I'll do anything for my girl. Why do you love rain so much? I questioned, my eyes stuck on her. I just love rains, she replied, dancing. You know, my silly dream is to dance in rain with someone. She exclaimed. So what's stopping you? I asked with a smirk on my face, and she was confused. What do you mean? She said and smiled awkwardly. You said you wanted to dance with someone, so here I am. I'm good at dance though, and I'll bring the speaker up so we can fulfill your silly dreamy, I said and raised my hands in the air. What, no, it's fine. Come on Jones, let's dance. I extend my hand towards her and she keeps her hand in mine. Under a dark, cloud-covered sky, we dance in the rain, our movements fluid and spontaneous. With my damp hair clinging to my forehead, I smile as I twirl her dress flaring out, droplets flying from its hem. Our laughter mingles with the sound of raindrops hitting the ground, creating a symphony of joy. Barefoot, we glide across the wet pavement, unbothered by the chill. The rain washes over us, but our spirits are warm and bright, lost in the magic of the moment. As she spins and twirls, her hair a cascade of wet curls sparkling with raindrops, I can't take my eyes off her. Each graceful movement captures my heart, and with every spin, I find myself falling deeper in love with her. Her laughter, free and unrestrained, is the sweetest sound, resonating within me and making my heart swell with affection. Her eyes, bright and full of life, meet mine, and in that brief moment, I see our future together full of shared dreams and endless possibilities. I watch her dance with such joy and abandon, and I am struck by how profoundly she affects me. Her passion and zest for life are contagious, drawing me in and wrapping me in a cocoon of warmth and love. I am mesmerized by her spirit, her beauty, and her strength. She is a beacon of light in the storm, and I am irresistibly drawn to her. Every glance, every smile, every touch as we move together in the rain deepens my love for her. I cherish the way she looks at me, and the way she gives herself so completely to the moment. I am in awe of her, and with each passing second, I realize that I love her more than I ever thought possible. As the rain pours down on us, I hold her close, feeling the steady beat of her heart against mine. In this perfect, rain-soaked moment, I know that I am utterly and irrevocably in love with her. She is my everything, and I will love her deeply and completely, for as long as I live. She laughed, and her laugh is all I wanted. I wanted that smile of her to last forever. I never could see tears in her eyes. I will happily burn down the whole world for her happiness, including me. If she wants me dead, I'll die for her happiness. Thank you, Everett, she said, smiling and her eyes sparkling. Enjoyed? I asked her. Yes, she exclaimed. Now let's head back or you might be sick. I warned her. 5 minutes more PLSS, she said with her doe eyes. How can I say no? I waited there for her to come back, and after 10 minutes she came and hugged me. The warmth that I felt, her heart beating against mine. I wish it could last forever. Me and her against the world. The way I felt for her, I have never ever experienced this before. It was something different. Just how easily I calm down when she's near me is something I never knew existed. My anger vanishes as soon as she's near me. Thanks for everything, Everett, she whispered in my ear, her hands tightly wrapped around my neck and mine wrapped around her waist. Come on, Jones, that's fine, I said. She broke the hug and looked at me in the eye. So I guess we are friends, Mr. Rude, she said, and I rolled my eyes. Yes, Miss Arrogant, now let's head downstairs, I said, teasing her. I gave her my tea to wear as one of my bodyguard was at her place cause I broke the door. I don't think she wanted to go back down, so I offered her my tea. She went back in and came wearing my huge tea which reached her thighs. She came and hugged Mia and Leo. They sat beside her on the couch. She was in my bedroom, so after she came out I went it for changing. I was now shivering, it was too cold and I never liked rain. I used to get sick always whenever I used to get drenched in rain. I put on my grey sweatpants and a black tee. Most of my clothes were either black, red, or white. I was still cold and sneezing. I came out of my room to see her lying on the couch and playing with Leo. Mia was asleep in the corner. You sleeping? I questioned as I sneezed. No, what's wrong, are you okay? She asked. Yeah, asterisk sneezing asterisk yes, I'm asterisk sneezing asterisk okay, I said. Wait, you caught cold? She questioned and came towards me and touched my forehead. Oh God, Everett, you are having fever, she yelled. Not a big deal, I said. Shut up and go lay on the bed, she yelled at me. How many times will she yell at me? I'm so not used to this. I went and got in my bed. My energy level was almost zero. I barely managed to speak. I was feeling as if I'm in a freezer, cold as fuck. I don't know what she was doing. 15 minutes passed, but she didn't came in and I could smell something, so I managed to get up and rushed out to see if she was okay. There she was standing at the kitchen with her back towards me, her hair laying on her back. What the hell are you doing? I questioned. Making a soup for you, she said. What? No, I don't need it, I said. I hate soup and never liked drinking them. I hate cooking too. So if I'm making soup, you're eating it, no excuses, she yelled at me. Now go and rest, I'll be back. I went to my room and on my bed again. I'm having butterflies in my stomach. She doesn't like to cook yet she's cooking for me. That means she feels something for me, isn't it? I need to ask Klaus tomorrow. After fucking 15 minutes, she came with a bowl of soup in her hand. I hate soups, but if she makes something I love it. Come on, drink it while it's hot, she said. Not as hot as you, I whispered to myself. What did you just say? She asked, raising her eyebrows. I said it's too hot, I lied. She took the AC remote and decreased the temperature. Is she planning to kill me? Are you planning to kill me because of that accident? Asterisk kiss asterisk. Shut up, Dumbo, it'll make the fever go down, she said, rolling her eyes and giving me a death stare. I drank the soup in a go. I just didn't smelled it, nor did I tasted it. I just gulped it down for her. Good boy, she said, and I giggled. She went out with that empty bowl of soup and came in with another bowl and cloth in her hand. What's that now? It's cold water. If you soaked it in a cloth and keep on your forehead, your fever will go down, she explained. In no way, you already decreased the room temperature. I sighed as shut up, she yelled, and me with her eyes widened. She came closer and kept the cloth on my head. Her touch felt divine. I wished that she stays near me forever. Within few minutes I closed my eyes and slept. I tried to keep them open, but eventually they closed. She sat beside me and I felt her warmth and fell asleep. I woke up as the sunlight fell on my face, irritating me as always. I made an attempt to wake up and close the curtains, but instead I saw her sitting on the floor with her head on the edge of the bed. Her hairs covering her face. I tucked her hairs behind her ear. The way she looked so peaceful while sleeping. My fever was gone and I was feeling quite good, so I went to the kitchen to make her breakfast. I didn't woke her up. She was up till 5 a.m. She probably just slept. I don't know what she likes, so I made spaghetti, pancakes, and hot chocolate. I sat on the couch and waited for her to wake up. I started watching The Legacies. I heard her screaming and crying. I quickly rushed to my bedroom. I saw tears rolling down her cheeks. She was having a nightmare. Jones, what happened? You are okay, Jones? I tried to wake her up, but she didn't open her eyes. Please don't hurt her, she screamed in her dreams. Jones. I kept calling her. And no, please don't touch me. Please, I'm sorry. She kept screaming. I took the hug of water and splashed water on her face. She blinked her eyes and wiped the tears away. She saw me and gave an ugly smile with tears filled in her eyes. She came closer and hugged me tightly with her hands wrapped tightly around my neck. I hugged her back and consoled her. You're fine, Jones. No one is here, I told her, and she still didn't broke the hug. Chapter 26. Football match. We watched a movie and then I probably slept. Thankfully, I didn't got another nightmare. He was soaked in rain and I wasn't. When he told me it was raining, I rushed out. It's the best feeling in the whole world. The smell of mud and rain feels so much better. I'm so thankful for Charles for being such a great friend. After knowing him, he seems a good person. Chase was there in my dreams. It scared the shit out of me and I woke up screaming. I saw EVERETT beside me. EVERETT has become my comfort place. The way I feel when I'm with him. I trust him with all my heart. He may be rude and arrogant, but he's not bad. I have never even thought that we would even be friends. I'm still scared about Chase. I wish I could kill that jerk. That damn bastard has ruined my whole life, and now again he thinks he can do that. There's no way I'm gonna let that happen. I don't fucking care about anyone nor my dad, and neither my bitchy stepmom. Why should I compromise always? I wish Nans, my granny, was here. She would never let me be in that place ever again. If only I could murder a person, it would have been Chase. The way he has ruined my teenage years and those bitter memories still don't fail to haunt me. I can kill him. If I just kill him, no one will ever know. What the hell am I thinking? I need to stop with my killer thoughts. I'm a cop and what the fuck is wrong with me? I was lying on the bed with my phone in one hand. Yeah, it was Charles' room. I don't know why, but it was way too comfortable, so he used to crash in the other room adjacent to the one I was in. He made me a super delicious breakfast. EVERETT is the best chef. Is he a CEO or a chef? Like, his cooking skills are just amazing. Max's cooking skills were average, but EVERETT's cooking skills is to die for. Talking about Max, I'm still pissed at him. I still haven't received his calls. I want to talk to him and tell him everything. He knows Chase, and if I tell him about Chase, I don't know what he'll do. I have habit of telling him all the things. Even when he was in Philippines, I used to text him, and he used to text me about his day. I took cold shower and tried to sleep, but instead my own thoughts were haunting me. I could still remember the day when it all started. Asterisk flashback asterisk. It was my first day of high school. I wasn't much excited. Dad brought me new uniform after I begged him, cause elementary school had a new cool uniform. My stepmom didn't even have a fuck about me. She was just driving me nuts. I got a call from Max. He said he was waiting outside my house. I didn't eat anything, as if I wanted to I would have to make it myself, and I fucking don't know to cook. My stepmom just made breakfast for herself and Dad. They didn't notice that and was too blinded by her love. I couldn't even have any fruits as there was only watermelon in the fridge, which I was allergic to. She's surely a bitch. She seduced my dad, and now he is totally under her influence. I was totally pissed off at everyone. I slammed the door and went out to see Max standing there with his bike. Hey sweetheart. Morning, he said with a huge smile on his face. I didn't even reply to him and sat on the bike. Let's go, I said, and he started the bike. After almost 15 minutes we got there. Jenna was my senior whereas Scar was junior. We used to go to rich kids school as we got the scholarship. Jenna's parents were rich, so she could afford the school, but my and Scar's parents weren't rich, so we gave the scholarship test and got in. Max got in the same one as he wanted to. His family was pretty rich, so that wasn't a huge thing for him. It was a big deal to even afford the uniform. It was pretty expensive. It was gorgeous though. We got into the campus. I was scared, as rich kids used to bully the poor ones and seniors used to bully the freshmans. Thankfully I had Max. He was pretty rich, so that wasn't a problem for me. Few days passed and the kids used to bully me when Max wasn't around, saying I don't deserve such a good friend. That's when I meet Bella. It was my 10th day of high school. I barely survived. I was standing in the corridor and zoned out thinking about stuff when I heard the bell ringing, echoing through the bustling corridors of Crestwood High School. I clutched my books to my chest, weaving my way through the throng of students. I felt like a small fish in a vast ocean, trying to navigate the waves without drawing too much attention. Just as I reached my locker, I heard a familiar and dreaded voice. Well, look who it is, sneered Jessica Moore, the leader of the senior clique, her voice dripping with malice. My heart sank. I turned slowly, trying to hide my anxiety. Jessica, flanked by her friends Brittany and Ashley, stood towering over me with matching smug expressions. What do you want, Jessica? I asked, my voice trembling slightly. Jessica stepped closer, invading my personal space. Oh, nothing much. Just wondering how a little freshman like you managed to get through the day without tripping over her own feet. Brittany and Ashley giggled on cue. I felt my face flush. I opened my locker, trying to focus on the mundane task of retrieving my history book. If I could just ignore them, maybe they'd get bored and leave. But Jessica had no intention of letting me off that easily. You know, as she continued, her tone mockingly sweet, we seniors have a tradition of making sure the freshmen know their place. And you, my dear, need a lesson. Jessica grabbed my history book and tossed it to Brittany, who promptly dropped it into a nearby trash can. The senior girls laughed, and my eyes filled with tears. I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of seeing me cry, but the humiliation was overwhelming. Why are you doing this? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Jessica shrugged, her smile cold and unfeeling. Because we can. Welcome to high school. Hope you survive. With that, the senior girls sauntered away, leaving me to retrieve my book from the trash. As I reached in, I noticed a few other students watching, some with pity, others with indifference. I took a deep breath, straightened my shoulders, and reminded myself that I wasn't going to let them break my spirit. Not today. Max wasn't here as he had some extra classes. As I struggled to pull my book from the sticky remnants of someone's discarded lunch, I felt a gentle hand on my shoulder. I looked up to see Bella Hernandez, a senior known for her kindness and fierce sense of justice. Hey, are you okay? She asked, her eyes filled with genuine concern. I nodded, trying to muster a smile. Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks. Bella turned her gaze toward Jessica, Brittany, and Ashley, who was still lingering nearby, watching with smug satisfaction. Her expression hardened, and she took a step forward. Jessica, what's your problem? Bella demanded, her voice strong and unwavering. Why do you always have to pick on the freshmen? Jessica rolled her eyes, clearly unimpressed. Oh, look, it's Bella the hero, always swooping in to save the day. Why don't you mind your own business? This is my business. Bella shot back, twisting her arm, making her scream. Bullying isn't cool, Jessica. If you have an issue, take it up with someone your own size. Jessica scoffed, but there was a hint of uncertainty in her eyes now. Whatever. Bella, just stay out of it. Don't you dare to touch me again. Fuck off, Bella yelled at them. Brittany and Ashley exchanged nervous glances, clearly not as confident without Jessica leading the charge. Bella stepped even closer, her presence commanding. I mean it. Jessica, leave her alone, or I'll make sure the principal knows about all of this. Bella threatened, her tone icy. Jessica hesitated, then sneered. Fine, come on. Girls, let's go. As they walked away, Bella turned back to me, her expression softening. Don't let them get to you, she said. They're just insecure and take it out on others. If they bother you again, come find me. I nodded, feeling a surge of gratitude and relief. "Thank you, Bella. I don't know what I would have done without you." She smiled warmly. "No problem. We need to stick together. High school can be tough, but it's easier when we have each other's backs." That's when we became best friends. She was the best one. I loved her with all my heart. She was the richest one, but still she was so kind and gentle. We started to hang out together. Me, Bella, Jenna and Scarlet used to spend days together. I was on my way back after that whole bullying incident when I saw my dad's car in front of the school. He never came to pick me up. That meant something's off. With that, Bella helped me clean off my book, and we walked down the hallway together. For the first time since starting high school, I felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe things will get better after all. As I walked out of the school building, the echoes of the day's bullying was still reverberating in my mind. I felt a sense of heaviness that seemed to slow my steps. Each interaction, each sneer and taunt, played back in my thoughts, amplifying the isolation and frustration that had been building up for weeks. I was so engrossed in my thoughts that I almost didn't notice my dad's car parked at the curb. It was such an unusual sight that it jolted me out of my reverie. My dad never picks me up from school. He has always been busy with work, and I usually walk home or take the bus. Seeing his familiar car in front of the school filled me with a mix of surprise and curiosity, tinged with a bit of suspicion. He doesn't care about me much, so it's either he needs something. My steps quickened as I approached the car, my eyes scanning for any sign that something might be wrong. Why was he here? Had something happened? The question swirled in my mind, adding to the tumultuous emotions already bubbling beneath the surface. As I got closer, I could see my dad sitting in the driver's seat, his face turned toward the entrance of the school, scanning the crowd of students pouring out. His usual calm and composed demeanor seemed slightly off today. There was a look of concern etched on his face, his brows furrowed in worry. For a moment, I hesitated. I wasn't sure if I should feel relieved or more anxious. My dad's unexpected presence was suspicious in a way, but it also made me uneasy because it was so out of the ordinary. What could possibly have brought him here today? Taking a deep breath, I continued walking toward the car, feeling a strange blend of emotions, a mixture of apprehension and anticipation. When I finally reached the car, my dad noticed me and his face softened into a small, reassuring smile. It was the kind of smile that he used to give me when I was a kid and had fallen off my bike or scraped my knee. Warm, comforting, and full of unspoken support. As I opened the passenger door and slid into the seat, the familiar smell of the car, a mix of leather and the faint scent of my dad's cologne, enveloped me, and I felt a small sense of relief wash over me. I hate AC cars, it makes me puke, so he kept the windows open. He never does that. It means he needs something. "Hey," my dad said, his voice gentle yet concerned. "I thought I'd surprise you today. How was school?" The simple question made my eyes sting with unshed tears. I wanted to tell him everything, the bullying, the isolation, the frustration, but I knew he won't give a fuck. Instead, I just shrugged, trying to keep my emotions in check. My dad's eyes didn't leave my face, and I could tell he sensed that something was wrong. "Listen," he said softly, reaching over to give my shoulder a reassuring squeeze. "You can always talk to me, okay? About anything. Stop pretending to care and tell me what you want." "You're smart," he replied, raising his brows. "We have to attend a party as a family." He finally spoke. "You already know my answer. I'm not interested. Take your fucking wife and don't ask me again. Remind your language. You are speaking to your dad. A dad who doesn't care if I live or die. A dad who cares only about his second wife." "Yeah," I replied, irritated as always. "I am telling you that you are coming with us. Dress properly and behave yourself at the party. If you misbehave, you are grounded for 1 week. Whatever. Ask your wife to behave as well. She's your mom as well." He yelled at me. "Oh no way, please, I'm not gonna consider her my mom in this life," I replied back. He didn't spoke for the rest of the ride. The office party was in full swing, with laughter and clinking glasses filling the air. The spacious hall was adorned with twinkling lights and elegant decorations, a testament to the company's success and festive spirit. Employees mingled with their families, exchanging pleasantries and enjoying the lavish spread of food and drinks. I stood in one corner, feeling utterly out of place. My father, dressed sharply in a suit, wore a fake smile as he chatted with his colleagues. He had dragged me here, insisting we attend as a family, but this wasn't my family. Not really. I glanced at my stepmother, who stood on the other side of my father. She looked perfectly at home, laughing and engaging effortlessly with everyone around her. I couldn't stand her, and she made it clear she felt the same about me. We were supposed to be pretending to be a happy family, but anyone who looked closely could see through the facade. My father barely paid me any genuine attention. He was more concerned with his image and career, and my stepmom laughing loudly at jokes and keeping his arm around his wife as if trying to convince himself and others of the perfect life he led. I shifted uncomfortably, feeling the weight of the forced smiles and hollow conversations. I longed to be anywhere but here, surrounded by these people who didn't care about me. I found a quiet corner to retreat to, away from the prying eyes and insincere interactions. I pulled out my phone, scrolling aimlessly, counting down the minutes until I could finally escape this charade. As the night dragged on, I watched my father and stepmother continue their act, each playing their part in the carefully constructed illusion of harmony. Beneath the surface, I knew the resentment and indifference simmered, waiting for the moment when we could drop the facade and return to our fractured reality. All I wanted was to be back in my room, away from the glitz and false pretenses, where I could be myself without the need to pretend. I was standing in my quiet corner, trying to blend into the background and avoid any more forced conversations. My phone was my refuge, a barrier between me and the uncomfortable reality of this party. I felt someone approaching, and I looked up reluctantly. A guy about 3 years older than me was making his way over. He had an easy confidence about him, dressed casually but stylishly, clearly at home in this setting. His eyes met mine, and I noticed he was checking me out. His dark brown eyes, his sharp jawline and his perfect curly hairs, dressed in a blue blazer. "Hey," he said, flashing a charming smile. "You look like you're having as much fun as I am." I raised an eyebrow. "Is that supposed to be sarcasm?" He laughed, a genuine sound that made me feel slightly less guarded. "Yeah, you court me. These things are always a drag, but at least the food is good." I shrugged, not really in the mood for small talk. "I guess. I'm Chase, by the way," he said, extending his hand. "My dad's the boss around here." "STELLA," I replied, shaking his hand briefly. "My dad works for your dad, I guess." "Nice to meet you," Chase said, leaning casually against the wall. "So, why are you hiding out over here?" I hesitated, wondering how much to share. "Just not really into the whole office party thing," I said finally. "Got dragged here by my dad." "Same," Chase admitted. "Except, you know, it's kind of expected of me. Got to play the role and all that." I felt a flicker of understanding. "Yeah, I get that." We stood there in a comfortable silence for a moment. Chase seemed genuinely interested in talking to me, not just going through the motions. It was a refreshing change from the rest of the night. "So, what do you do for fun?" he asked, breaking the silence. I glanced at him, surprised by the question. "I like to read, listen to music, stuff like that. What about you?" "Big into sports," he said, "but I also love movies and trying out new places to eat. Maybe you could recommend some good books to me sometime?" I felt myself relax a little more. "Yeah, maybe, if you don't mind my taste in books." He grinned. "I'm sure I'll manage." For the first time that evening, I felt like I wasn't just enduring the party. Chase's easygoing nature and genuine interest made the situation a bit more bearable. Maybe this night wouldn't be a complete disaster after all. Little did I know it was the beginning of the destruction. If only I hadn't met him there, my life would have been so peaceful. He changed his school and got admission into the one I was studying. Max didn't like him much, so they didn't got along. Yet I told him to be a little nice as he was my dad's boss son. He kept talking to me and waiting for me during lunchtime. We used to have our lunch together. Chase was a football player. He used to invite me to watch his match, and I used to refuse, but then he started coming to my house and started convincing my dad that I should go to watch match. That's when it started going. Bella used to come with me. Scar used to be busy with her projects, and Jenna didn't like football. I convinced Bella to come with me as Max was busy with his assignments. The phone rang, bringing me back to the present. Flashback ends at the shrill sound of my alarm pierces the morning stillness. jolting me awake. Disoriented, I quickly realize I'm not in my own bed but in the plush surroundings of Everett's penthouse. The unfamiliar scent reminds me of last night that ended much later than expected. I groggily reach for my phone to silence the alarm, noting the time with a sense of urgency. Work awaits, and I'm already behind schedule. I jump out of the comfortable bed, hastily grabbing my belongings strewn across the room. As I rush down the hallway, I catch sight of Everett lounging casually on the couch in the living room, engrossed in a football match. The glow of the television casts flickering shadows on his relaxed figure. He glances up briefly, offering a lazy wave as I hurriedly pass by. Morning. Need any coffee? He calls out, but I'm already halfway to the door, muttering a quick, and no thanks, gotta run. Look after him, please. I navigate through the spacious penthouse, my mind racing with thoughts of the tasks awaiting me at work. The pristine, modern design of the apartment is a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding in my head. As I reach the elevator, I can still hear the faint commentary of the football match, a reminder of the leisurely morning my neighbor is enjoying. The elevator ride down feels like an eternity. I tap my foot impatiently, glancing at my phone to check for any missed messages or emails. Each second ticking away heightens my sense of urgency. When the elevator finally dings and the doors slide open, I dart out into the lobby, offering a hurried nod to the doorman who looks mildly surprised by my sudden appearance. Outside, the city is already bustling with the morning rush. I join the stream of people heading to their destinations, blending into the crowd. My mind is still processing the events of the morning as I make my way to the subway station. The crisp morning air and the chatter of fellow commuters bring me fully awake. I navigate through the throng, my focus shifting to the day ahead. Everett watching the football match took me back to the days when I used to watch Chase play the football. Flashbacky, I sat in the bleachers with my friend Bella, surrounded by cheering fans, but my focus was on one player, Chase. The evening sun casts a golden glow over the football field, highlighting the intensity of the match. Chase, a star player on his team, was giving it his all, but he kept glancing toward me, trying to catch my eye. Every time he looked my way, I felt a mix of discomfort and confusion. I knew Chase liked me, but I didn't share those feelings. He always forced me to accompany him. My dad forced me to go with him, and he used to get clingy and kept his hand on my waist, which I hated the most. His glances made me awkward, and I smiled awkwardly whenever our eyes met, unsure of how to respond. Bella noticed and nudged me. "He can't stop looking at you," she whispered with a grin. As the game progressed, Chase's team pulled ahead. With a final burst of energy, Chase scored the winning goal. The crowd erupted in applause, and Bella and I found ourselves cheering along with everyone else. I was fake cheering, as if he knew I didn't cheer he would again complain my dad, and then he and my stepmom will ground me. After the match, Chase made his way through the throng of congratulatory teammates and fans to where Bella and I were standing. His eyes were bright with victory. He caught his breath, then said, "Yeah, I couldn't have done it without your support. Seeing you smile gave me the strength to push through." I forced a polite smile, my cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "You played really well," I said, trying to keep the conversation friendly but neutral. Bella beamed beside me, clearly enjoying the excitement of the moment. "Congratulations," Bella said to Chase, and he thanked her. He then came close to me and pulled me closer to him, but keeping his hand on my waist. I struggled to let go of his hold. Can you please take your hand off me?" I finally managed to speak. "Everyone is watching, darling, so shut up and let me hold you. I don't want people to get their eyes on you. You are my friend and they should know that." I smiled awkwardly. Bella knew that I was not comfortable. "Let's go, Stella," Bella said. Finally, I will escape from his hold. "Wait, Bella, why are you hurrying? If you wanna go, you are free to. I'll drop her." He almost growled at her. Bella was such a strong and confident one. She won't leave without me, and I was sure of this. "We have group project, so we need to get there right now," as she replied back. "Yes, Chase, I need to go. I have project to complete or else I'll be expelled from school." "Oh, darling, fine, but don't forget to meet me tomorrow during lunch, and better don't bring that Max along." He was such a controlling jerk. He always tried to control me by blackmailing me. I was too innocent back then, so I used to listen to him. I was in the middle of the road and I heard cars beeping. I saw the signal and it turned green a while ago. Of course everyone would be frustrated. I quickly started the car, Oh shit, I can't be late. Why the heck do I keep zoning out and going back to those days? Damn it. I rushed to the office and swiped my employee card and the door opened. There he was standing with an angry look on his face. Gosh, I'm dead. I was fucking half hour late. Jesus Christ, save me please. Chapter 27. Prince Charming. 1 month later, a month has passed. And against all odds, my boss did not fire me for being late. Fortunately, his good behavior was due to his harmonious relationship with his wife at the time. This unexpected turn of events worked in my favor, and I couldn't help but feel immensely grateful. Thank you, Jesus, for saving my life, or else I don't know how I would have managed without job. I was deeply engrossed in a case involving what initially appeared to be a straightforward suicide. However, it quickly became evident that it was, in fact, a meticulously planned murder. The victim's wife, who was having an affair, orchestrated the crime when her husband refused to grant her a divorce. Her lover, a police officer, aided her in flawlessly covering up the crime, ensuring no fingerprints, footprints, or other evidence were left behind. The scene was meticulously cleaned, and the husband was found hanging from a ceiling fan, staged to look like a suicide. It's disheartening to witness such ruthlessness, especially from someone the victim deeply loved and trusted. The husband's unwavering love for his wife made the betrayal even more tragic. And after his death, this case underscores the extreme lengths to which some individuals will go, and it unfairly casts a shadow on the integrity of others. She surely was a bitch because of her people think all women's are bitch. Her husband loved her too fucking much. Finally, she's behind the bars. I was sleepless for months solving this case as it was way too hard with no evidence left behind, but as it is said, the culprit always does a mistake, and there we got her. She pretended to be sad and her fake cries convinced us that she wasn't the culprit, but turns out she was a drama queen. EVERETT is now my best friend, and I have recently started talking to Max again. It's been 4 months since our falling out, and I have decided to forgive him. I made it clear to him that I don't have any feelings for him. Max has since developed a crush on a new woman, who is likely a police officer. We don't converse much, but I learned from her that Max once attempted suicide, which influenced my decision to re-establish some level of communication with him. I don't want anyone to suffer or harm themselves because of me. I'm relieved that his new interest is a young officer who has recently joined the force, and that their feelings for each other appear mutual. My hope is that Max won't engage in any more dangerous behavior. I'm just hoping that he won't pull any dangerous stunts this time. He told me about the officer he has a crush on. Her name is Layla. Max perfectly described her. She has green eyes, blonde hairs which reach her shoulder, thick lashes, glossy pink lips and a mole on her right cheek. Guess what, there's someone I have a crush on. Neil Rajput. He recently joined our department and is working with me. He's from India and has shifted here with his mom. He's also the Prince of Rajasthan. I seriously never thought princes actually exist in modern life, but looking at him I got to know they do exist. Prince Neil Rajput of Rajasthan is a dashing figure of the modern era. He stands tall with a commanding presence, his striking black eyes often described as captivating and intense. His sharp jawline, his brown skin tone and chiseled features further enhance his handsomeness, making him the epitome of royal charm and modern sophistication. Despite his noble heritage, Neil harbors no ego and has always dreamt of working as a cop. He has a perfectly scripted face, well, not more than Everett. I'm so in love with Neil. Fuck, what the heck is wrong with me? I can't be in love. I can't do that again. His mother, Queen Aishwarya Rajput, is a woman of timeless grace and elegance, with deepest eyes reflecting wisdom and compassion, and silver hair often elegantly styled. She exudes an air of regal authority. Her demeanor is both warm and commanding, making her a beloved figure within the family and among those who know her. Having relocated to Los Angeles, Neil and Queen Aishwarya reside in a sprawling bungalow that echoes the grandeur of their palace. The bungalow seamlessly blends traditional Rajasthani architecture with modern design, featuring expansive gardens, intricate carvings, and luxurious interiors. Despite being in a bustling city, their home serves as a serene sanctuary filled with artifacts and artworks celebrating their rich heritage. Driven by his passion for justice, he collaborated with me, bringing his unique perspective and unwavering commitment to their cases. Neil Rajput is such a gentleman. The way he behaves with everyone makes it hard for me to not like him. Despite his royal lineage and the impressive title that comes with being a prince, he remains remarkably down-to-earth and approachable. Neil's sharp jawline and striking black eyes are often the first things people notice, but it's his genuine kindness and willingness to help that leave a lasting impression. Working closely with him, I've observed how he treats everyone with respect and dignity, never letting his royal status create a barrier. Neil's dedication to his work as a cop is evident in his meticulous attention to detail and his unwavering commitment to justice. His move to Los Angeles hasn't changed his values. Instead, it's given him a broader platform to make a positive impact. Neil's partnership with me as a crime investigator is seamless. His strategic thinking, combined with his ability to remain calm under pressure, makes him an invaluable ally. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or lending a hand with challenging tasks, Neil is always there, embodying the true spirit of teamwork and compassion. It's been a month since his working with me. At first I was ignoring him, then he kind of approached me, and that's how we became great friends. Besides working as a crime investor, Neil embarked on an ambitious venture 4 months ago by establishing Wattpad Enterprises, a cutting-edge tech company specializing in AI-driven solutions. With his keen business acumen and royal charisma, Neil swiftly navigated the competitive market, propelling his company to the forefront of the industry. Wattpad Enterprises is now a leader in innovative technology, celebrated for its rapid growth and groundbreaking products. Neil's leadership and vision have not only cemented his reputation as a savvy businessman, but also as a modern-day royal who seamlessly blends tradition with innovation. I like him, and I don't know why, but he's too sweet towards me. He kinda gives me mixed signals and makes me confused as hell. I told EVERETT about having crush on Neil, and from that day onwards his acting weird. He's avoiding me. He comes home late night and leaves early to avoid me. I'm on my way back, sitting beside Neil in his Mercedes. He offered me a ride, and do you think I'll miss this chance? No fucking way. The car's engine purrs softly as I sat in the passenger seat, the plush leather seat cradling me in comfort. Neil Wattpad, with his effortlessly regal demeanor, navigates the streets of Los Angeles with one hand on the steering wheel. His other hand casually rests on the gear shift, close enough for me to feel the warmth radiating from his skin. The sun begins to set, casting a golden glow over the city. Neil glances over at me with a charming smile, his grey eyes sparkling with mischief. I hope you don't mind, he says, reaching for the car's stereo system. The next moment, the familiar strains of my favorite song fill the air, making your heart flutter. You like it? He asks, his voice smooth and velvety. I nod, feeling a blush creep up my cheeks. He chuckles softly, clearly pleased with my reaction. As the music plays, Neil reaches into the glove compartment and pulls out a small, elegantly wrapped box. I thought you might enjoy these, he says, handing it to me. Inside, there's assortment of my favorite chocolates, their rich aroma wafting up to meet me. My blush deepens, and I can't help but smile. You didn't have to do this, I said, my voice shy yet filled with gratitude. Neil's eyes never leave the road, but his smile widens. I wanted to, he replies. I like seeing you happy. The atmosphere in the car is electric, the combination of his thoughtful gestures and flirtatious comments making my heart race. I steal glances at him, admiring his sharp jawline and the way his hair catches the fading sunlight. Each moment feels surreal, like a scene from a dream I never want to end. You know, he begins, his voice smooth and playful. I think this car feels a bit empty without your smile lighting it up. I chuckle softly, feeling my cheeks warm. Flattery will get you everywhere, won't it? He smirks, turning his attention back to the road. Only if it brings that smile back, he replies, his tone sincere yet teasing. As we navigate through traffic, the air between us is charged with a mix of laughter and unspoken attraction. Neil adjusts the music playlist, selecting a song that makes me grin with delight. He steals glances at me, his gaze lingering longer than necessary, each glance filled with a silent invitation. Tell me, he says after a while, his voice is softer now. What's the one thing you haven't done yet that you'd love to do? I ponder his question for a moment, enjoying the comfortable intimacy of our conversation. Travel more, I finally answered. There are so many places I want to see. He nods thoughtfully. Well, when you do, I hope you'll take me with you. he says, his tone gentle yet sincere. I meet his gaze, feeling a rush of warmth at his words. I'd like that. I reply softly, the promise of future adventures tingling in the air between us. The city lights blur past us, but in that moment, it's as if time slows down, allowing us to savor the connection growing stronger with each passing mile. I would love to take you to my palace in Rajasthan, he said, staring at me. That's in India, right? I asked, excited. Yes, it is, he answered, smiling. I have never been there, I said softly. Don't worry, you soon will be there with me, he said and winked at me. I let out a chuckle. He suddenly stopped the car by pressing the brake, and I was too shocked. I raised my eyebrows and questioned what he with my eyes. He signaled me to look forward. I did that, and there was a grey BMW in front of us blocking us. We reached Orchids, but he was coming in to drop me off, and this car blocked us. I got out of the car and went straight to the BMW blocking us. I was shocked to see Charles in the car. He was pale and he seemed drunk. What the heck is this, Everett? I yelled at him. I called Neil to help me. He picked Charles and kept him beside the driver's seat, whereas I took the driver's seat and drove us in the Orchids. I'm sorry, Neil, but I'll treat you to dinner some other day. Yeah, sure, no problem, take care, darling, he said, and I smiled. Everett was looking at me with puppy eyes. What's wrong with him these days? Since the night I told him that I liked Neil, he's been acting weird. His rude personality is seen and his sweet personality is seen nowhere. I wonder what's wrong with him. Is it because Neil is his competitor? I need to figure that out. I don't want to lose my friendship with Charles. Thankfully Everett wasn't conscious, but at least he was able to walk with my support. Otherwise this hulk would have crushed the little me. I struggled under Everett's weight as we stumbled through the penthouse building's lobby. His arms slung over my shoulders, his head lolled with each step, and I could smell the potent mix of whiskey and cologne clinging to his clothes. Come on, Everett, we're almost there, I muttered, more to myself than to him. We reached the elevator, and I jabbed the button repeatedly. Finally, the doors slid open, and I dragged him inside. The ride to the top floor felt endless, each second marked by Everett's incoherent mumbling and the occasional lurch of his head against my shoulder. When the elevator dinged and the doors parted, I took a deep breath and readjusted my grip. Okay, Everett, we're at your place. Can you tell me the password for the door? Everett squinted, his eyes unfocused. It's, he slurred. I groaned internally. What is it? 4, 7, 6, 3, he said, his words blurring together. I guided him to the door, propping him against the wall as I tried the numbers. The keypad beeped in protest. Everett, are you sure? It's not working. Maybe 6, 4, 2, 3, he mumbled, his eyes fluttering closed. I tried again, but the door remained stubbornly locked. I sighed, glancing at Everett, who was now sliding down the wall, barely conscious. All right, we're going to plan B. I hefted him back up, my muscles protesting the effort, and maneuvered him back to the elevator. The trip down felt even longer, my mind racing with thoughts of getting him safely to my place. Just hang in there, Everett, I said softly, glancing at his slackened form. I finally got in and managed to get him to my couch, easing him down onto the cushions. Everett murmured something unintelligible, his head lolling back. I grabbed a blanket from the closet and draped it over him. Sleep it off, Everett, I whispered, brushing a stray lock of hair from his forehead. I stood there for a moment, watching him breathe deeply, already lost to sleep. With a tired sigh, I turned off the lights and headed to my own room. I was about to sleep when the thought of Leo woke me up. Shit, what if Leo's hungry? I quickly rushed out to the living room only to see Everett murmuring something. I went a little close to him to hear what he was saying. 0-6-6-8 open the door, Klausy, he said. This jerk, I was asking him his password for 30 minutes and he's spilling it now. I took my keys, locked my room and rushed to the penthouse. I tried 0-6-6-8, but it didn't work. So instead I tried changing the last number. I can't keep Leo hungry. This guy doesn't have any workers for this huge house, and my poor Leo. He says he loves his privacy. I tried changing the last digit to 765432109, but they didn't work. So I tried to change the first digit. I entered the password 1-6-6-8 and it opened. Where I'm smart. This jerk, he should remember his password. Shut up, his drunkie, I said to myself. I quickly went in and Leo came to me wagging his tail and barking. I quickly turned on the lights and went upstairs to the kitchen. I searched for Leo's food and then I saw the pedigree on the kitchen counter. I gave it to Leo and he ate that. I sat there, I stared at him as he was eating happily. My poor baby didn't got his dinner on time. After Leo ate, I took him and went to my place. I opened the door and saw Everett lying on the floor. I was about to go in when I noticed the new letter. I have been receiving them since a month. It's from Chase. He's been threatening me from a month. I quickly read the letter. Hello, bird. Enjoying your freedom, ho? Don't worry, you'll soon be caged. You belong to me and I'll take you away. As for your fucking boyfriend, I'll make sure to kill him and cut him into pieces. I'll soon be there, bird, and then you'll be mine. I'll kiss you, fuck you, and do whatever I want. No one can stop me, and if you even show this letter to your boyfriend, I'll kill Emma or maybe Pip. Your love. Tears flooded in my eyes. I stumbled and sat on the couch. I crumbled the letter and turned it into a ball. My hands were shivering. Everything turned black and I couldn't see anything. Just when I was thinking of new beginning, I didn't thought about my end. Tears started rolling down my cheek and I blinked my eyes few times. I could now see the surrounding, and that's when I saw Everett lying on the floor. I tried to get him back on the couch, but I failed. I grabbed his shirt and buried my face into his chest, hugging him tightly and started sobbing. My hands were wrapped around his waist. My head rested on his one arm whereas his another arm was on my waist. I didn't knew what to do. I didn't wanted to bring him back into this shit. Should I give myself to him? He won't harm anyone, right, if I surrender and tell him that I'm ready to be with him, right? Yes, that's right, all the people I love will be safe, Pip, Everett, Jenna, and Scarlet. What about me? What about the future you dreamt with Neil? I questioned myself. No, you don't deserve to be happy, I told myself and dialed his number. Chapter 28. Bleeding. As I was making my way back to the orchids after taking care of that bastard, a wave of frustration washed over me when I saw her. She looked ethereal, her face glowing softly in the moonlight. My heart, already shattered into 1,000 pieces, broke even further when I noticed her sitting beside him in his sleek Mercedes. I was in my Range Rover, and I made sure not to move an inch. I wasn't about to let that jerk take her into her apartment, no way. That was the last thing I wanted. I had already instructed Klaus to keep tabs on them, so I knew he was the one dropping her off. But I wasn't leaving anything to chance. I had managed to plant tiny recording devices in all 8 of his cars, ensuring I could monitor every move he made. The devices were small and efficient, capturing every word spoken within the cars. Hearing him flirt with her and, worse, her inviting him into her apartment ignited a furious fire within me. I knew I needed to act quickly. On a sudden whim, I devised a plan. I pretended to be drunk, a role I played expertly. I kept my head on the steering wheel and pretended to close my eyes. I started honking the car continuously to grab her attention. I had bourbon in my car, intending to drink it tonight, but then I quickly poured it all over myself to avoid suspicion. She's sharp, after all. When she got out of the car and headed towards my Range Rover, she signaled Neil, who came over to help. He assisted her in moving me from the driver's seat to the passenger seat. He offered to drive us home, but she declined, which was a relief since it meant my plan would fail. Neil drove off in his Mercedes, while my love started my car and headed to Orchids. Being so petite, I knew she wouldn't be able to carry me to the penthouse on her own. I began to stagger along, pretending to be drunk. She supported me, wrapping my arm around her shoulder, and guided me toward the elevator. We were in front of my penthouse. That's when I remembered that she doesn't know the password, and honestly I don't want her to know cause I wanna crash at her place tonight. My plan worked intentionally. I told her the wrong password 2 times and then she took me back to her apartment. I was on the couch whereas she was in her bedroom. She turned off the lights of the living room and went in her bedroom. I opened my eyes to peep and I saw that the light of her bedroom was still on. Soon after 15 minutes she stormed out. Shit, how can I forget about Leo if this jerk doesn't even care about him? I gave Leo his food and that's when I left the house. I'm not that careless. I don't want him to be alone in the penthouse, so I murmured the password. 0-6-6-8 open the door, Klausy, I said, and she cursed me. She stormed out, leaving me alone in there, and brought Leo with her. I was intentionally laying on the floor hoping that she would help me back to the couch, but instead she froze with a letter in her hand. I quickly closed my eyes. I kept my eyes closed and waited for her to bring me back to the couch. 10 minutes passed, but she didn't come. I decided to open my eyes a little and turn to her. When I saw her, she was froze with a letter crumbled in her hand. Her whole body was shivering and tears rolling down her eyes. She wiped off her tears and was about to move when I again closed my eyes. As I lay on the couch, I watched through half-closed eyes as she turned off the lights in the living room and retreated to her bedroom. I noticed the soft glow of her bedroom light still on, and a few minutes later, she burst out of the room with a sense of urgency. Shit, how could I forget about Leo? She muttered angrily to herself. That jerk doesn't even care about him. I watched as she hurried to feed Leo. The concern in her voice was clear, and it stung a little. She thought I was careless, but before I left the penthouse I fed Leo and he absolutely wasn't hungry. Yet I didn't wanted him to be alone in the penthouse, so I mumbled the password under my breath and she cursed me, clearly frustrated. She rushed back in, holding Leo close to her. As soon as she got in, Leo rushed to meet MIA. Her eyes darted around the room, and I quickly decided to play along with my act, hoping for some sympathy. I deliberately laid on the floor, feigning helplessness, hoping she might help me back onto the couch, but instead of coming to my aid, she froze, her eyes wide as they locked onto something in her hand. I waited for her, but she didn't help me. After 10 minutes, I decided to check on her. I opened my eyes just a fraction, enough to see what had captured her attention. In her hand was a crumpled letter. Her entire body shook, and I could see tears welling up in her eyes. She wiped them away quickly, trying to regain her composure, but it was clear something in that letter had deeply affected her. My heart ached at the sight, and I felt a surge of protective instinct. I wanted to comfort her, to ask what was wrong, but I remained still, feigning unconsciousness. She stood there for what felt like an eternity, clutching the letter tightly. Finally, she seemed to gather herself and was about to move when I quickly shut my eyes again, not wanting to be caught watching her. I waited, expecting her to come to my side, maybe to vent her emotions or simply seek comfort. But she stayed rooted in place, silent and still. After several long minutes, I dared to peek again. She was still standing there, the letter now crumpled in her trembling hand, her eyes red from tears. Whatever was in that letter, it had shaken her to her core, and all I could do was lie there, pretending to be asleep, while my mind raced with concern and curiosity. I hate myself for not consoling her. After a few minutes she came back to me and tried to put me back on the couch, but I didn't want it to be back. I was concerned about her. She failed in bringing me back to the couch. As she held on to me, I could feel her trembling. The raw emotion in her embrace was palpable, and it stirred something deep inside me. Her fingers clutched the fabric of my shirt, as if afraid I might disappear if she let go. Her head rested on my one hand whereas I kept the another in her waist, drawing her closer to me. Her sobs became more intense, and I could feel the dampness spreading across my chest. Each tear seemed to carry the weight of unspoken words, fears, and sorrows. It pained me to see her like this, so vulnerable and broken. I rested my chin against the top of her head, feeling the softness of her hair against my skin. The scent of her shampoo, a subtle mix of floral and something uniquely her, filled my senses. The world outside faded away, and all that mattered was her and the silent promise I made to protect her. I could feel her breaths coming in ragged, uneven gasps, each one a reminder of the depth of her emotions. It was overwhelming to witness, and I felt a mix of helplessness and determination. I wanted to be her anchor, the one she could lean on when everything else felt uncertain. As her sobs gradually subsided, she pulled back. The only thing I wanted was to make her feel safe, to let her know that no matter what, I was there for her. Her vulnerability touched me deeply, and I found myself wishing I could take away whatever pain she was feeling. I wondered what was in that letter that made her sad. I wish I could kill that person. She got up, leaving me behind laying on the floor, She wiped her tears and headed to the balcony. She was calling someone. I wondered who she was calling. The letter that made her sob was lying there beside the couch, crumbled. I quickly got up and took that letter. Hello, bird. Enjoying your freedom, ho? Don't worry, you'll soon be caged. You belong to me and I'll take you away. As for your fucking boyfriend, I'll make sure to kill him and cut him into pieces. I'll soon be their bird and then you'll be mine. I'll kiss you, fuck you, and do whatever I want. No one can stop me, and if you even show this letter to your boyfriend, I'll kill Emma or maybe Pip. Your love. Adrenaline surged through my body like a tidal wave, electrifying every nerve. The sight of that jerk threatening her ignited a fury deep within me. How dare he try to intimidate her? Panic mingled with my anger as I scanned the room. Where was she? Who was she calling? The urgency to protect her overwhelmed me. Dropping my act of being drunk, I bolted to the balcony, my mind racing with a mix of rage and concern. The thought of her being in danger fueled my anger, making my movements swift and decisive. I wouldn't let anyone harm her. The anger I felt was like a storm inside me, ready to unleash itself on anyone who posed a threat to her. The thought of her being in danger was unbearable, and I couldn't let that happen. My emotions were a chaotic mix of fear, rage, and an overwhelming need to protect her. This wasn't just about anger, it was about protecting someone I cared about deeply, and I wouldn't let anything stand in my way. I stood in the doorway, watching as she spoke to someone on the phone. Relief washed over me. She was safe. For a moment, I feared she might have had a panic attack, but it seemed she was holding it together, though barely. She was visibly shaking, and tears streamed down her cheeks. I moved closer, careful not to make a sound, straining to hear her conversation. See, Chase, you can take me. I'll come with you. But please don't hurt anyone. I beg you, as she stammered, her voice thick with fear and desperation. I hesitated, my instincts telling me to rush to her side, but I knew I had to stay hidden. She leaned against the railing for support, clearly struggling to keep herself upright. Yes, I'll accompany you, tomorrow at 11 a.m. And no, please. I need an hour with Jenna and Scarlet. I promise I'll come with you after that. As she continued, her voice barely more than a whisper. The tremor in her voice was unmistakable. She was terrified. The tears kept coming, relentless, as if she was trying to purge the fear and despair she felt inside. I watched helplessly, my heart breaking for her. The thought of her with him made my blood run cold. I clenched my fists, feeling the frustration and helplessness build. As she ended the call, she crumpled to the floor, her body racked with sobs. I knew I had to keep my knowledge about Chase and the letter a secret. It was crucial that she didn't realize I was aware of the situation. Otherwise, she might push me away or try to protect me from whatever danger she was facing. Taking a deep breath, I pretended I had just woken up and was unaware of the conversation she had just had. I walked over to her, my expression feigning concern and confusion. Jones? Are you crying? What's wrong? I asked, trying to sound casual, as if I hadn't overheard anything. She looked up at me, her eyes wide with panic. Nothing. I'm just her voice caught in her throat, and she suddenly gasped for air, her chest heaving. It was clear she was struggling to breathe. Her hands clutched at her throat as if trying to pull in more air, but it was no use. Her breathing became erratic and shallow, and she began to hyperventilate. I recognized the signs immediately. She was having a panic attack. Her face paled, and her hands trembled uncontrollably. Her breaths came in short, rapid bursts, and her eyes darted around the room in a desperate search for something to anchor her. She seemed lost, trapped in a wave of overwhelming anxiety and fear. I knelt down beside her, gently placing my hands on her shoulders. Hey, it's okay. Breathe with me. All right? In through your nose, out through your mouth, I instructed softly, demonstrating the slow, deep breaths she needed to take. Just focus on my voice. You're safe here. She tried to follow my lead, but the panic had taken hold too tightly. Her breaths remained shallow and fast, her body shaking with the effort. I knew I had to act quickly. If she couldn't calm down, it could get worse. Without hesitation, I scooped her up into my arms. She felt so light, so fragile. As she clung to me, her fingers digging into my shirt. I could feel her heart racing, a wild, erratic beat against my chest. "Hold on, Jones. We're going to the hospital," I whispered urgently, hoping to reassure her as I carried her out the door. Every second felt like an eternity as I made my way to the car. I laid her gently in the backseat, trying to keep her comfortable. She was still gasping for air, her breaths coming in short, sharp bursts. I quickly got into the driver's seat and sped towards the hospital, my mind racing. I kept talking to her, trying to keep her focused on something other than the panic consuming her. "You're doing great, Jones. Just keep breathing. We're almost there," I said, glancing back at her through the rearview mirror. Her eyes were squeezed shut, tears streaming down her cheeks. I felt a surge of helplessness and anger that he had put her in this state. I rushed into the hospital with her unconscious in my arms, desperation fueling my every step. The waiting area was packed, and the reception staff seemed to be taking their time with the patients. I pushed through, my urgency not matching their calm demeanor. "She needs immediate medical attention," I demanded as I reached the desk. The nurse, overwhelmed and flustered, began citing wait times and protocols. My frustration turned into anger. She didn't have time for delays. Without hesitation, I pulled out my gun and fired a shot into the ceiling. The loud, piercing crack silenced the room instantly. I kept my gun raised, glaring at the stunned staff. "Listen up," I shouted, my voice cold and unwavering. "She's unconscious and having a panic attack. If she doesn't get immediate care, every single one of you will pay for it." The doctors soon hurried over, scared that they will lose their lives. "Sir, please keep her in that room." She asked me, scared as hell. "No fucking way. Examine her while I'm holding her. No one gets to touch her until I say so. Move." The threat was unmistakable, and the fear in their eyes was immediate. Nurses hurried over with a stretcher, but I shook my head, still holding her. "Don't you fucking understand? I'm not keeping her there. Check her now," I yelled at them. I felt like if I let her go I will lose her forever, and that's the biggest fear. A doctor approached, clearly shaken but trying to maintain composure. "All right, we'll start the examination," he said, his voice steady but nervous. I adjusted my hold, cradling her carefully as the medical team began their assessment. They checked her vitals, attached monitors, and administered oxygen, watching every move. Her breathing was shallow and her face was pale, a sign of how critical her condition was. I kept my gun visible, ensuring that the staff understood the seriousness of the situation. The waiting area had gone eerily quiet, all attention focused on the scene before them. The doctors and nurses worked quickly, their fear and professionalism combining to address her needs. After what felt like an eternity, the doctor turned to me with a nod. "She's stable for now. We've administered medication to help with the panic attack, and her condition is improving." I exhaled in relief, though the tension in my body didn't entirely fade. "Good," I said, holstering my gun. "Make sure she stays stable. If anything happens to her, I will hold every single one of you responsible. Book a VIP room for her, and if any one of you dare to call the cops, I'll make sure you all rot in hell." I rushed to the VIP room. I watched over her, my mind still consumed by the looming threat and the need to protect her at all costs. For now, she was safe, and that was my sole priority. The hospital might not have known who I was, but they understood one thing. I would go to any lengths to protect her, and I don't give a fuck about anyone, nor even me. All that matters is her. If that meant using my connections as a mafia leader, then so be it. No one can even lay a finger. I instructed the doctors to keep her unconscious until the following day. If she wakes up, I'm certain she'll head straight to that jerk and go with him. That's the last thing I'll allow. I leave the hospital in a hurry, leaving my 2 female assistants behind, and head directly toward Klaus. I explained the whole situation to Klaus. "We need to get that bastard Klaus." But how?" "I have a plan. Stella's cell is with me. I'll text him to meet me at 10 a.m. and he'll surely come." "Okay, works," he said, nodding. "I need 5 men to get him." "Rest assured I'll arrange that," he answered. "I hope that this plan works out," I said, tensed. "It will, Everett, don't worry. Don't call me that, only she has the right to call me by that name," I snapped back. "Are crazy in love. Shut your mouthy, how can I stop worrying? If that bastard escapes, he will torment her for the rest of her life. And I can't bear to see her in tears. Her tears felt like a knife twisting in my heart. A blade that never failed to leave me bleeding. Chapter 29. Mafia King. I followed our plan meticulously and used Stella's phone to send a message to Chase. Meet me at 10 tomorrow at the backside of Orchids. His response was almost immediate. Okay, bird. With the arrangement set. All I can do now is wait for tonight. Stella is still unconscious, which gives me some time. But if she wakes up before I've dealt with Chase, it could jeopardize everything. The thought of her regaining consciousness before I finish this makes my blood boil. If that happens, I swear I'll kill each one of the doctors and staff responsible. They won't just regret it, they'll face my full wrath. This mission has to go off without a hitch. And I'll ensure it does, no matter the cost. I couldn't sleep the whole night. Thoughts of her and the plan to kill him consumed me. As morning came, I fed Leo his breakfast and rushed out, coat in one hand and coffee in the other. I called the hospital to confirm she was still unconscious. The female assistants and bodyguards were doing their jobs well, which was a relief. I pulled out Stella's cell phone to check for any messages from that bastard. A text he sent at 8 a.m. made my blood run cold. Be ready, bird. I'll be there soon. How the hell could he think of taking her away? I quickly dialed Klaus. Everything ready? I asked, my tone serious. Yes, all the men are here, and the warehouse is set up, he replied. Okay, great. I'll be at the warehouse. Make sure everyone wears masks and avoid revealing their face. All right, he answered, and I hung up. I went to meet her in the hospital and placed a bouquet of flowers beside her. The 5 female bodyguards didn't even look at her. The room was freezing cold. I stormed out of the VIP room. Can't you fucking do your job properly? I growled at them. Sorry, sir. What did we do? One of them asked. What did you do? How dare you talk back to me? Keep your eyes down, or I'll make sure to take them out. I snapped. But sir she tried to interrupt. Can't you fucking check the room temperature? You had one simple job, and you screwed it up. Get lost. All of you. But sir. Weary sorry one more word, and I'll rip that filthy tongue out of your mouth. I snarled. I called my PA and had them fire the entire team, instructing them to send replacements as soon as possible. I went in and sat beside her. Her hair wasn't covering her face today, and her features were fully visible. Those cute freckles, those lips, those cheeks, everything about her mesmerized me. I gently took her hand in mine. My love, you're the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, the person I'll never forget. I may forget myself, but never you. I never thought I was capable of loving, but you, my love, brought me back. You brought out a side of me I didn't even know existed. I know you like Neil. I'll be happy watching you from afar and protecting you. I will never, ever force you to love me. I just want to see you happy, because seeing you happy makes me the happiest. To be honest, it hurts that it wasn't me you loved, but him. When you told me you liked him, I was shattered. I didn't know how to react, so I thought distancing myself was the best option. But that made things even worse. In my attempt to distance myself, I drank for days. I didn't even know who I was anymore. I laid on the couch, drunk and smoking, trying to numb the pain. I even considered ending it all, but the thought of never seeing you again haunted me. Tears blurred my vision. I wiped them away and kissed her hand, then her forehead. I wished she could love me someday. I was interrupted by a soft knock on the door. The replacement team had arrived, their presence reassuring. There were 8 of them now, a sign of how serious the situation had become. I swiftly assigned positions, 3 near her to ensure her safety, another 3 at the door as a second line of defense, and the remaining 2 stationed at the hospital's entrance to secure the perimeter. As I finished giving instructions, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I already knew who it was before I even checked the caller ID. For fuck's sake, tell me you got him, I demanded, unable to hide the urgency in my voice. Yes. We did. We're heading to the warehouse now, the voice on the other end confirmed. Yes. I shouted, a surge of relief and excitement coursing through me. Finally, we had him. I wasted no time and rushed out, heading straight for the warehouse. The warehouse was located far from the city, in a remote area where prying eyes were scarce. It was the perfect spot for what we needed to do, away from any potential interruptions. As I drove, the landscape changed from bustling city streets to deserted roads and empty fields. The silence was almost deafening, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. When I arrived, I parked my car at a distance, not wanting to draw attention. I got out and approached the warehouse with slow, deliberate steps, my senses heightened. As I drew nearer, the sound of muffled screams reached my ears. They were faint at first, but grew louder with each step I took. The sound was unmistakable. He was in there, and he was terrified. As I stepped into the dimly lit warehouse, a shiver ran down my spine, not because of fear, but because of the sight I just saw. That motherfucker was right in front of my eyes, tied to the wooden chair. His face was already bruised and swollen, his eyes filled with fear and defeat. This was the movement I was waiting for. Klaus lounged nearby, casually resting his boots on the armrest of Chase's chair. He observed the scene with a detached amusement, a cruel smile playing on his lips. Two of our men were methodically working Chase over, delivering precise blows that elicited grunts and groans from him. Despite the pain, Chase stubbornly refused to scream, his defiance evident even in this desperate situation. Two more of my men stood guard at the entrance, their postures alert and watchful, ensuring that no one would interrupt our session. The dim light overhead cast long shadows across the room, amplifying the grim and foreboding atmosphere. In a corner, another member of our crew was meticulously preparing for the next phase. He carefully poured water into a large metal kettle, setting it on a portable stove. The hiss of the gas burner igniting filled the air, a prelude to what was to come. The water began to bubble and steam, promising the pain that was about to be inflicted. I took the kettle, feeling the intense heat through the metal. The room felt silent. The only sound of the bubbling water and Chase's ragged breathing could be heard. I moved towards him slowly, savoring the movement. "This is just the beginning, buddy," I said with a smirk. I tipped the kettle just enough for a thin stream of boiling water to spill onto his body. He let out a roar, a nominalistic scream, writhing in agony against the restraints. The acrid smell of his burning flesh filled the air, mixing with the pungent sense of fear and sweat. I stepped back, watching with satisfaction as Chase writhed in pain. "Consider this a lesson," I said, my voice cold and steady. "No one crosses me and gets away with it. This is just a taste of what's to come." Chase's eyes were wide with terror now, his defiance broken. He nodded frantically, tears streaming down his face. I handed the kettle back to the man by the stove and wiped my hands, as if cleansing myself of the filth Chase represented. "What did you wrote in that letter, you will cut me, ho?" I laughed. "So that bitch showed you the letter," he replied, wincing in pain and groaning. "Say one more word about her from that filthy mouth of yours and I'll rip your tongue out," I warned, my voice cold and menacing. He quickly turned silent. "Good," I said, turning to leave the room. "We have plenty more ways to make him scream. If any one of you stops, I'll make your life hell." As I walked out, the door closing behind me, I felt a grim satisfaction. As I stood over the door ready to leave when his voice stopped me in my tracks. "I'll fuck her in front of you, and that's my promise to you," the venom in his words cutting through the air. Fury surged through me and I whirled around, my eyes locking onto his with blazing anger. I quickly turned back and kicked him in his balls. "I dare you to say that again," I yelled, and he groaned. I'll fuck her." Before he could utter another syllable, I grabbed a knife from one of the men, who watched the scene unfold with wide, uncertain eyes. In a flash, I plunged the knife into his leg, twisting it as he howled in agony. "You can't touch your motherfucker," I spat, yanking the knife free and tossing it aside. Blood flowed freely from his wounds, staining the floor. "Let me go," he yelled, pleading with his filthy eyes. "Bugger off, bastard," I said, wiping his blood from my shirt with a calmness that belied the storm raging inside me. I turned to my men, who were frozen in place, unsure of what to do. "Sprinkle some salt on his wound," I instructed, my voice icy and controlled. "And if you stop torturing him even for a second, I'll make sure my bullet passes through your heart." With one last glance at the pathetic, writhing figure on the ground. I turned and left, my mind already planning the next steps. He had underestimated me, and now he would pay the price. There would be no mercy, no leniency. He would learn, in the most painful way possible. I made my way to the penthouse, feeling the weight of the events. I wore a cap so that my face doesn't get caught in the CCTV, as I had his blood all over me. My shirt as well as face was stained with his blood. Once inside, I headed straight for the shower, letting the hot water wash away his filthy blood from my skin. The warmth of the water did little to ease the chill in my bones. After drying off, I chose a sky blue blazer. Its soft color was a stark contrast to the violence of the earlier hours. I decided to keep the top 2 buttons of my shirt open, giving a proper view of my broad chest, adding a touch of casual defiance to my otherwise polished appearance. The blazer fit perfectly, its sleek lines and subtle sheen enhancing my composed look. As I glanced in the mirror, I couldn't help but think about her. She must be awake by now. Thankfully, I had left her cell phone beside her before heading out of the hospital. I wore the matching bracelet. She always wears the necklace that I gifted her. Oh, she doesn't know it's from me. For her it's from the restaurant, and that's fine. I get to match my bracelet with her, which makes me happy. I hurried into the bookstore, holding a bouquet of flowers in one hand. Knowing she loves reading, I decided to surprise her with a selection of romance novels. I've noticed her enjoying them before, so I wanted to pick out some books she would love. As I browsed the shelves, the Twisted series caught my eye, with titles like Twisted Love, Twisted Hate, Twisted Lies, and Twisted Games. The lady at the store highly recommended this series, so I added them to my basket. Further, I chose Icebreaker, which promised a heartwarming and funny love story, The Love Hypothesis, known for its charming and clever narrative, and A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, which sounded like a beautifully romantic read. The titles and covers of these books were just as appealing as their descriptions, and I couldn't help but imagine her enjoying each one. In total, I picked out S. I hope these stories bring her as much happiness as she brings into my life. And as I thought about the book titled A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, I wished I could give her every one of those kisses myself. With the books bagged and ready, I headed out, eager to see the smile on her face when she sees what I've brought her. I walked towards the hospital entrance, nodding briefly at the bodyguards stationed there, their black outfits and long blonde hair making them easily recognizable. As I approached her room, I paused for a moment, running a hand through my hair and straightening my shirt, trying to compose myself. With a bouquet of flowers and a stack of books in hand, I took a deep breath and stepped inside. My heart sank at the sight before me. He was already there, sitting beside her, his presence dominating the room. Our eyes locked for a brief second before I looked away, feeling a pang of disappointment. She noticed me almost immediately, leaving me no chance to slip away unnoticed. I cursed myself silently. How foolish was I to think she would wait for me? He was clearly better than me, always had been. Hey, Everett! As she greeted me warmly, I forced a smile in return and handed her the flowers and books. Wow, thank you so much, Everett. These books have been on my list for a long time, she said, her eyes lighting up with gratitude. Her happiness should have made me feel good, but instead, it only deepened the ache inside. Then, he stood up. Neil, or Neil whatever his name was, extended a hand towards me. Hello, Mr. Everett, he said, his tone polite. I looked at his hand for a moment before ignoring it. Hello, I replied curtly, moving past him. My focus was on leaving as quickly as possible, the atmosphere too suffocating to bear. Take care, Jones, I said. Leaving so soon? She asked, concern in her voice. I turned back and leaned in close to her, whispering, it seems like you need privacy with Mr. Neil. Her face turned a bright shade of red, and I couldn't help but laugh softly. It was a bittersweet moment. Seeing her flustered brought a small amount of joy, but the reality of the situation hurt. As I left the room, I nodded to the bodyguards. You're off for now, I told them. They nodded back and swiftly disappeared, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Outside, the air felt colder, the world harsher. I shoved my hands into my pockets, trying to ignore the pain in my chest. She deserved happiness, and if he was the one who could give it to her, then so be it. But that didn't make the situation any less painful. I wanted to kill him to make him suffer. I stormed into my room, the door slamming shut behind me. I turned to the punching bag hanging in the corner of my painting room. Without a second thought, I launched into a flurry of punches, my bare fists connecting with the bag in a relentless rhythm. Each strike sent a shockwave up my arms. But I didn't care. Blood soon started to seep from the raw skin on my knuckles, staining the bag with smears of red. The sight only fueled my rage. I hit harder, faster, each pooch carrying the weight of my love for her and the jealousy. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell her that I love her. I wanted to let out the storm of emotions inside, but I held it in, channeling everything into the bag. As a child, I was taught to be strong. Man had to be strong. They can't cry. They can't be weak. I sank to my knees, exhaustion overtaking me as the adrenaline wore off. My hands throbbed with pain, the skin split and bleeding. I looked at them, at the mess I had made, and felt a wave of guilt. But the physical pain was nothing compared to the ache in my heart. I leaned my forehead against the cool surface of the punching bag, closing my eyes. I didn't let a tear slip from my eye. I was taught that only weak men cry. I always had to bottle up my emotions. My cruel dad made me into a monster. I'm emotionless, but she made me a person capable of loving. Flashback. The room was dim and suffocating, the musty air making it hard to breathe. As a child, I clung to my teddy bear in fear, hiding in the corner. My father, the man everyone feared, stood commanding in the center of the room, his men flanking him like shadows. "Come here, boy," he ordered, his voice low and menacing. My legs felt heavy, but I forced myself to step forward, heart pounding. Kneeling to my level, he gripped my shoulder tightly, his cold blue eyes locking onto mine. "You're going to learn to be strong," he said, handing me a gun. The cold metal felt wrong in my small hands. Pointing to a bruised, sobbing man, he commanded, "Shoot him." "But Dadder, he's sorry," I pleaded, trembling. "There's no room for sorry in our world," he growled. "Shoot, or I'll punish you," I cried, the weight of the gun and my father's expectations crushing me. Terrified, I dropped the weapon and ran to my room with my dog, Fluffy, seeking comfort. Later, I woke to find Fluffy missing. Panic set in as I searched for him, only to find my father in my room. His glare froze me. "Had a good sleep?" he sneered, his tone mocking. "I am sorry, Dadder," I stammered. He ignored my apology, pressing a lit cigarette against my back. The pain was excruciating, tears streaming down my face as I bit back screams. Hours later, my mother sneaked in to tend to my burn, her guilt and worry etched on her face. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart," she whispered. But my father's punishment wasn't over. At dinner, I found the meat on my plate tasted strange. When I asked, his cruel reply shattered me. "It's Fluffy," he said, watching my horror with cold satisfaction. Refusing to eat, I begged him to stop, but he shot my mother in the arm to force my compliance. Terrified, I obeyed, swallowing each bite with tears streaming down my face. Afterward, he brought in the man I couldn't shoot earlier. "Kill him, or your mother dies next," my father demanded, handing me the gun again. Trembling, I apologized to the man before pulling the trigger, the shot ringing in my ears. Blood spilled onto the carpet as I sobbed, realizing I'd crossed a line I could never return from. My father smirked, satisfied. Later, as we drove my mother to the hospital, I whispered, "I'm so sorry, Mama." She held my hand, her voice trembling. "It's not your fault, Ace. One day, we'll escape this." "But what about Bella?" I asked, referring to my sister, who was sent away by our father. "She'll come with us," my mother promised. Later that day when we got home, he beat me up again as he was drunk and took Mum into the room, and all I could hear next was screams. My mum screaming. I was terrified. I knocked on the door but no one opened. I knew he was hurting Mum. Her screams grew louder. She was hurt, yet he didn't spare her. That day I understood my dad is a true monster, and I made it my mission to kill him no matter what. Flashback ends. My phone buzzes, which brought me back to present situation. Tears welled up in my eyes. I looked up at the sky so that they would not fall down. I quickly answered the call after seeing it was from Klaus. Chase was here being tortured, and it's been a week since I have heard from STELLA. I try to take a look at her. I haven't seen her. Maybe she's staying at Neil's. He's asking for water. Should I give him, or are we starving him to death? Klaus asked, bringing me back from my thoughts. No way, that would be painless death. Give him food and torture him. Did that shipment of drugs and riffles and the most important thing arrived? I questioned. No, it will be at 4 in morning. Don't worry, I'll handle that. He answered. Leave at least 5 of the men with that arsehole and then go. Please make sure they don't fuck up anything. I ordered and hung up. Chapter 30. Her ex. I impatiently dialed Klaus, and he picked up within 2 seconds. Oh shit. I was about to call you, I swear. Does she cut the crap, Klaus? Did you get the shipment? I asked, my tone cold. Yes, we did, but we have a little problem. We didn't got the thief. We almost caught him, but then he tricked us. We found a piece of leather jacket. It's cherry red in color. Klaus responds, I need that little thief at any cost. Better keep that in your head, Klaus. I growled over the call. Yes, we're trying. He replies. That's nice. I can't wait to cut his dick and pour acid on his face and make him beg for death. I respond with a smirk. Soon enough. Okay, I'll load the shipments. I hung up the call and went to take a shower, the cold water drumming against my skin. As my thoughts drifted towards my love, the thief, the shipment, none of it mattered as much as her. I want her. I need her. She's become like oxygen for me, without which I couldn't survive. Then Neil comes into my mind. The image of him with her sears itself into my brain. And a dark, bitter rage claws at my insides. I want to destroy him. To kill him. To tear him apart for coming between us. But who am I to even think this way? Do I even deserve her? I'm a pure devil with a mission of revenge, but she's an angel. All I could wish is she was mine and I was hers. Love is a suffering, that's all I know. After taking a shower, I slipped into a casual, soft cotton shirt. Kept the 2 buttons open, which gave the perfect view of my broad chest. My eyes drifted to Leo, who was already sitting near my feet, looking up at me. I filled his bowl of food and he ate, wagging his tail with happiness. After he ate, I grabbed my car keys and decided to take Leo to park. He enjoys being in park, chasing butterflies and birds. The drive to the park took half an hour with Leo sticking his head out of the car. The wind ruffled against his fur. I parked the car and let Leo out of the backseat. I set him free but kept his leash in my hand. Leo, however, turned out to be mischievous today. He darted off as soon as his paws hit the grass, running as fast as he can. Leo, stop running, I called out. This wasn't likely. He never did something like this. He always obeyed me. I ran with his leash in my hand and suddenly the leash slipped from my grasp. When I finally caught up, my breath hitched. A man was gripping Jones by her neck, her face pale and her eyes wide with fear. Leo barked furiously, circling the man but waiting for my command. Let her go. I roared, charging forward. The man turned, his cold eyes meeting mine, but he didn't release her. Rage surged through me, and I tackled him, my fist colliding with his jaw. He lessened his grip and STELLA fell to ground, coughing. I went forward and punched him harder. He punched back and we fought viciously, trading blows with brutal intensity. STELLA's screams echoed in the background as I landed a powerful punch, sending the man stumbling. He retaliated, his fists slamming into me, but I didn't back down. Who the hell are you? He asked. The one who sends you to hell, I said with a smirk. Blood dripped from my nose and split lip as I wrestled him to the ground. With a final surge of strength, I twisted his arm behind his back, the sound of his bones snapping filling the air, and finally I snapped his neck. The fight ended with his lifeless body crumpled at my feet. Without hesitation, I knelt beside Jones, pulling her into a tight embrace. She felt so fragile in my arms, her body shaking with every breath she took. Leo tried to climb up, pouring at my leg as if he, too, wanted to be part of the comforting circle. It's okay, Jones, you're fine, you're safe now, I whispered, my voice steady, though my heart ached to see her like this. But instead of calming down, she suddenly pushed me away, her eyes blazing with anger through her tears. Why the fuck did you save me? as she shouted, her voice raw and filled with pain. Before I could react, she slapped me across the face. I was stunned, not by the slap itself, but by the deep well of hurt behind it. She glared at me, her chest heaving as if she could barely contain the storm raging inside her. "What's wrong, Stella?" I wanted to die. She yelled at me with tears rolling down her cheeks. Leo, sensing the tension, stopped barking and whimpered softly at her feet, his eyes full of concern. I kept my gaze locked on hers, trying to understand the depth of her pain. "Jones," I said softly, not moving away. "I saved you because you matter. I couldn't just stand by and let something happen to you. No matter what you're feeling, you deserve to be saved." She turned away from me, hugging herself tightly, as if trying to shield herself from the world. "You don't get it," as she murmured, her voice breaking. "I don't deserve any of this. Not your kindness. Not your pity. He is dead because of me and Max is in jail. I'm the problem everywhere. You're wrong." I replied gently. "You deserve so much more and he deserved to die and Max, he was wrong. I may not know who he is, but a guy who disrespects women deserves to die." Her breath hitched, and she finally looked at me, the anger in her eyes fading into something far more vulnerable. "I don't know how to do this," as she whispered. "You don't have to figure it all out right now," I assured her. For a long moment, she just stared at me, as if searching for something in my eyes. Then, slowly, she leaned back into my embrace, her resistance melting away as she allowed herself to be held. "Let's go home?" I asked her. "But his dead cops will get back to you and you'll be behind the bars. You think it's that easy to get back to me?" "What?" she asked, confused as hell. "Nothing, let's just go home, I'll manage the rest of the things," I said as I wrapped my hand around her shoulders and took Leo's belt in my another hand. I opened the car door for her and when she took a seat I leaned closer and kissed her forehead. She just closed her eyes. She gave me a weak smile. I quickly got out and called Klaus. "I killed a guy in the park. Hack the CCTVs and manipulate the footage, also make sure to dump his body. This was our routine, I kill and he cleans." So I didn't have to explain much to him. Whoever he was, whatever had just happened, it had clearly rattled her. I decided not to press her about it now, but the need to know was gnawing at me. I drove in silence for a while, but the tension in the air was palpable. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I pulled over to the side of the road, cutting the engine. The sudden stillness seemed to pull her out of her trance. "Jones, are you okay?" I asked gently, placing my hand on hers. Her skin was cold to the touch, a stark contrast to her usual warmth. "I'm good," she replied, but her voice was shaky, betraying the calm facade she was trying to maintain. She quickly pulled her hand away, as if my touch burned her. I wanted to say more, to offer some comfort, but I knew better. Stella was like a tightly coiled spring right now, and pushing her might make her snap. "Okay," I said softly, giving her the space she needed. I restarted the car and drove off, the road ahead stretching endlessly. Whatever was haunting her, I knew it wasn't something that could be easily brushed aside. We headed to my penthouse. She couldn't find her keys. Probably she dropped them in the park. So I suggested that she can rest at my penthouse. "Jones, what's wrong? Please just let it out." "I'm here," I said, pecking her. It's a long story," she said, and she cried. She was so vulnerable. It was my second time seeing her like this and it hurted so damn much. "I have full day. I'll cancel all my meetings, just tell me what's the matter and who he was," I said, and called my PA and told him to cancel all my meetings. "But you won't understand," she said, looking down and fidgeting with her hands. "Jones, I will," I said, and made her look at me by lifting up her chin. "He was my ex," she told me. "Glad that he's dead now."